$8 billion fund. I'm submitting my application.
Yeah, it's ButterFlii sitting at the table, talking real life, keeping it stable. Lessons, blessings, truth when she speak, dropping that fire, new thoughts every week. ButterFlii, fly floating on high, music in the lounge, keep your soul alive. Reality reviews, she gon' testify, standing for the people, she don't let it slide. ButterFlii, lessons and blessings, no see but true. She's speaking for you. Yeah. ButterFlii. Yeah. Lessons and blessings, no see but true. She's speaking for you. Yeah.
Salutations and welcome back to Butterfly's Corner. How are you guys doing out here in this YouTube universe? I hope all is well with everyone. Yes. Come on up in the room. Make sure you hit that free 99 like button. It will greatly be appreciated. And y'all, welcome to ButterFlii's reality check. Okay, reality check, y'all. I'm gonna be doing 2 shows, okay? And for my second half, I will have a special guest. All right. So y'all come on up in the room. I'm gonna give y'all 3 minutes to get on up in. Hey, my beautiful AD. Salutations. Salutations, beautiful. Buttercups. Please forgive me. My schedule is a little kooky right now. So I do apologize for missing out on y'all last week. Okay. But this week we're gonna try to get back on schedule. Today I had something to handle this morning. So that's why I wasn't able to come live this morning. But hopefully we get back on schedule, because we're gonna get back on schedule. But I know I need to get my behind up in here, because we gotta talk about Rhode Island and Love and Marriage Huntsville, the season finale. Baby, y'all get on up in here though. Y'all make sure y'all hit that free 99 like button. I'm gonna give y'all a few minutes to get up in here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Make sure you hit that free 99 like button. It will greatly be appreciated. Yes. We're gonna get into it, Buttercups, because baby, between Rhode Island and Love and Marriage Huntsville season finale, baby, we got some things to talk about, okay? Now, and I think when it comes to Rhode Island, my opinion is gonna be unpopular, okay? But yeah, we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna give y'all a few more minutes to get up in here. Thank you guys so much for being here. My beautiful Alicia. Salutations, Buttercups. Hit that free 99 like button, okay? I know this ain't the time I usually come live, but you know, we gotta get these reviews out. Okay? With the season finale, we know the reunion is gonna be coming up next weekend. And that look like that's gonna be a doozy, the 2-part reunion for Love and Marriage Huntsville. So So yeah, buttercups, we're gonna get into it. Okay. So I'm gonna give y'all a few minutes to get on up in here. Thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure y'all hit that free 99 like button, okay? Can y'all hear me good? Alicia, thank you, babes. Can you hear me good? Thank you, Buttercup. Yes, yes, yes. Y'all go make sure y'all go share me out. Okay. Go tell a friend to get down here. ButterFlii live. Okay. We about to get into our reality check. Okay. Reality check, baby. We're gonna be discussing love and marriage Huntsville and Real Housewives of Rhode Island. Okay, thank you, Alicia. Wasn't sure. Want to make sure. Y'all get on up in here, buttercups. Y'all get on up in here. Hit that free 99 like button. I'm gonna wait a few more minutes, see a couple more buttercups come in, and I'm gonna just go ahead and get into my review, okay? And we're gonna start with Rhode Island, okay? We're gonna start with Rhode Island. And we're going to roll on up into Love and Marriage Huntsville once I get Rhode Island out the way, okay? I'm going to give y'all a few more minutes, so y'all come on up in here. Hit that free 99 like button. Let's go, buttercups. Salutations. You got a few more minutes to get up my end, buttercups. Yes, yes, yes. Y'all come on in the room, okay? Come on in the room so we can get on down to our review. I'm gonna do love, and I'm gonna do Real Housewives of Rhode Island first, and then we're gonna get into Huntsville. Yes, buttercup. But I think Huntsville, y'all know Huntsville gonna take us a little longer to get through. Yes, yes, yes. Y'all know Huntsville's gonna take us a little longer to get through. Y'all come on in the room, buttercups, and thank you guys so much for joining me. Hey, Sarah, salutations, buttercup. How are you doing, beautiful? Salutations. Shout out to the Bush babies in the building. Y'all make sure y'all hit that free 99 like button, okay? We're gonna get into some things, okay? We are gonna get into some things, buttercups. We got to get into it, okay? But I'm gonna do Rhode Island first, okay? And then we're gonna get into Huntsville, okay? Thank you guys so much for being here, okay? Bush babies, y'all hit that free 99 like button. It'll greatly, greatly be appreciated, okay? Yes, yes, yes. Y'all come on up in the room and let's get into it, okay, buttercups? Yes, how's everybody feeling today? Happy Monday. Happy motivational Monday, buttercups, okay? Magnificent Mondays. Oh God, it's Monday. Get me through the week, Monday. Okay, make a little Monday. All right, buttercups. I just give y'all a few more minutes. See if we can get a few more people on up in here. Y'all come on up in here. We're gonna get to getting into our review, okay? I'm telling you now, I'm doing Real Housewives Rhode Island first to get them out the way. And because I know the Love and Marriage Huntsville is going to take us a little longer, baby, because you know your girl ButterFlii got some things to get off her chest about them Huntsvilles. Okay, about the Huntsvilles of it all. Hey, number one, Buttercup. Salutations. Yeah, shout out to the Bush babies. Y'all hit that free 99 like button, okay? There's only 9 of y'all in here so far, so I should have 9 free 99 like buttons hit, okay? Thank you guys so much for joining your girl ButterFlii. Like I said, for everybody just coming in, I'm gonna do Rhode Island first, and then my guest is gonna be joining me for Huntsville, and then we're gonna get into the Huntsville of it all right, buttercups? Okay, all righty now. Whew, buttercups. I don't know if y'all been catching up on Real Housewives of Rhode Island, but I think this is one of the best franchises they launched since Real Housewives of Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And that says a lot, because baby, we know Real Housewives of Atlanta put the whole franchise on the map, okay? It put the whole franchise on the map. You know, of course, Orange County was first and New York was first, but it didn't blow up until Atlanta hit the scene, okay? So that says a lot. Rhode Island definitely gives me uh what you call it? Atlanta first, you know, first season, something fresh, something real good. The cast is all new cast. They've never been casted on any outside of Rosie, but she was like a weather girl, you know, worked for the news station. But other than that, my boo Rosie. But other than that, you know, all these women are their first time being on reality TV. So shout out to them. And we're going to get into it, okay? Now, I don't know if y'all remember last week, but last week they drove into Bean, Boston, to see Rosie's husband's live. I don't know if you call it cabaret. I don't know if you call it cabaret or what you call it, but he does I believe Sinatra. He does Sinatra songs or something like that, So shout out to him. I forgot it looked like they went down to the North End. I'm giving this North End because if they're Italian, it's definitely North End. And I believe they are Italian because we got a chance to see Rosie meet up with her family, her in-laws down to the beach. So I do believe they are Italian. So I believe that restaurant was in what we call the North End, which is heavily populated Italian area in downtown Boston that has a lot of Italian restaurants and different things like that. So yes. But anywho, so we're gonna get into it, Buttercups. We're gonna get into it. So last week we left off with them showing up for Rosie's husband's his show down to the Boston, down I believe to the North End. And Alicia, Liz, and Joellen rode down together, and Alicia expressed to Liz that she didn't appreciate her trying to take away her experience. It got real tense because Liz, told Alicia, "I'm not trying to take away your experience, but I believe that you used the wrong word. I know your family. You have a beautiful family." And that was my feeling from even Liz speaking up in the first place. I guess she didn't want Rosie because Liz is the oldest one out of all the cast members, so she comes from a little bit of an older generation. And if y'all know anything about older generations, it really don't matter. Multicultural, it don't matter. Your background, but this happens with older generation. They like to keep things that they feel are not so savory or not so favorable about their family and stuff like that. They kind of like to keep that to themselves and keep that in-house. So I really believe that Liz felt like Alicia sharing that she felt homeless once her father left the mother and took the house or whatever he did with the house. And she had to move into her grandmother's basement. Now, here's where I feel. I feel like if you don't have your own home, whether it's your family or not, living with your family is still not having your own. So I get where Liz is coming from. It wasn't like she was homeless. Like, homeless can mean many different things. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're out on the street. And I think that's the confusion. And I don't think anybody that has ever dealt with homelessness knows. I don't think it necessarily means that you're out on the street. Being homeless is not having your own. Alicia went from having her own. They had their own home. They wasn't living in nobody's basement. So I feel like Alicia was valid in feeling like she was homeless. Living in her grandmother's basement is not exactly what she was coming from and what she was used to. So I understand why Alicia felt homeless. Yeah, that's my grandmother's house, but that still ain't really technically our home. We're in the basement. We're homeless. We don't have our own home. Period. End of story. That's homelessness. Okay, that is homeless. Homeless doesn't necessarily mean you're out on the curb, living off the street, living under a bridge. Homeless, you could be homeless in many different aspects. Okay, and for one, not having your own home can count as homelessness. Homeless. You're homeless. And that's what Alicia was trying to say. She felt homeless. She came from having her own to not having her own and having to live in her grandmother's basement. And when Alicia had a conversation with her mother said, yeah, we was homeless. We was living couch to couch to couch. So they didn't necessarily automatically end up at the grandmother's house. They went through a couple of homes. So I can understand why Alicia felt that way. Now, I also understand why Liz felt like, you wasn't homeless. You have family that was there for you. Because there's people that don't have family that are literally like, they are on the street and stuff like that. And I felt like Liz felt like it would be taken away from Alicia's family to make it seem like they wasn't there for her when her father took the home and divorced and left his family. But at the same time, I don't think Liz understands that this is Alicia's experience and she felt homeless. And I technically believe I would consider that homeless too. It's not your own home, period, point blank in the story. You know what I'm saying? So homeless, like I said, many people, it can mean many different things to many different people. Like, Like, I was homeless. I was living in my mother's bathtub. Then I moved into my own cardboard box, which I was moving to different street corners. So, I was homeless. Even though I had my mother's bathtub, I was homeless. Hey, my beautiful, messy Michelle. So I was homeless. So I get where Alicia's coming from. It's not your own home. You're living in your grandmother's basement. So I get that. Here is where Joellen, listen, okay? I went from my mama's bathtub to the cardboard box, and then, I sleep in the bathtub at night when, I might have to park my cardboard box in a dangerous corner, so I really couldn't sleep in it, you know what I'm saying? But anywho, I digress. Not about me. But so they're riding down to Boston to go watch Rosie's husband. Shout out to my boo Rosie. Rosie's my favorite. I don't know, I have an unpopular opinion about the whole situation with Joellen and Liz. And here is where I kind of agree with Liz. Joellen is disingenuous because you sat at dinner with Liz and her husband, with your husbands, and you did say that Alicia wasn't homeless. Now, I feel like Rosie, like Liz felt there's a way that you could have mediated where it didn't seem like you was making her seem like she was being not understanding of where. Yeah, Rosie's my favorite. Hey Miss Johnson, how you doing, beautiful? Salutations. So I get where Liz is coming from with not wanting her to as quote unquote embarrass her family, because I think that's what Liz is thinking. You're embarrassing your family, making it seem like they wasn't there for you, and that's not at all what Alicia was attempting to do. But like I said, Alicia's mother said they was going from couch to couch, home to home. So apparently they didn't land right at the grandmother's house. So therefore, Liz should have just backed down and allowed. Joellen is definitely a messy, mean girl. So here is where I feel why Liz got irritated with Joellen. Like I said, you just sat at dinner with your husband, y'all husbands, and you agreed with Liz. So then get in the car and kind of make it seem like Liz was just, you didn't, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, you try to make, you left Liz on the island by herself because you really it wasn't you being neutral because you wasn't even genuine. And the fact that you felt that Alicia wasn't homeless neither. And I kind of get what you was doing. You didn't want to take away from Alicia's feeling and what she felt, but at the same time, you should have been honest. And that's what Liz is saying. You are Joellen is disingenuous to me. Hey, Temper, baby. Yes. Okay. Okay. Girl, he definitely ain't no fake Sinatra. The way my boo Alicia screamed when he sung that one song, girl, I said Alicia now, girl. But anyway, they get to the restaurant, they get out the car, Joellen still, I don't know what Joellen called herself doing, but once Liz told her to leave her alone, Joellen should have left Liz alone. At the end of the day, you kept antagonizing Liz. You should have gave Liz a moment, you know what I'm saying? Because she did apologize to Joellen multiple times. But here's what she said. I apologize for not trying to take your feelings away, but I still don't agree with the fact that you was homeless, which I get it. Okay, I'm sorry that you feel like I'm invalidating your feelings, but I still don't agree with the fact that you felt like you was homeless. Fine and dandy, okay? Oh, Joellen did make it worse, in my opinion. Oh, shoot. Hold on, Buttercups. Give me 1 second. I gotta take this. God darn it. Don't go nowhere, Buttercups. Hold on. Elevator music. I'll be right back. Dang, I knew as soon as I got right there. Okay. They might call right back. All right, Buttercups, let me go. Let me get to talking before they call back. One might have to answer that. Hey, Aisha, salutations. Okay. She very disingenuous because and Liz even said prior to y'all sitting down for lunch that you asked your husband because apparently Joellen's husband also close to Alicia's family. Okay, hold on, Buttercups. I'll be right back. It didn't kick me out. Usually kick me out. Okay, thank you, Buttercups. I'm so sorry about that. I just had to take that real quick. But we back. Where was I? Oh, okay. So I was talking about Liz, and okay, I do feel like Joellen was antagonizing Liz. I felt like Joellen, once they got into the restaurant, they should have ordered their drinks. Joellen should have allowed Liz to come down because Liz was obviously in her emotions, and Joellen is very disingenuous. Like, you're sitting up here literally attacking a whole nother woman's marriage. At the end of the day, let me give you the skinny on that too with Joellen and the attacking of Rula's marriage. Liz did sit down and meet up with Rula and explain to Rula what happened, and that's how she explained to Rula that she feels Joellen's disingenuous. And shout out to the production squad because they brought up every single screenshot of Joellen being disingenuous. So I agree with Liz with that. Joellen is definitely disingenuous. I think Joellen flows wherever the wind blows when she's in the moment. But you know what I'm saying? It's a whole different ball game when, when she, depending on where she's at and who she's with. And I definitely believe that because I'm gonna tell you right now, even with the whole situation with Rosie and what's that girl named Kelsey, Joellen was the one that brought up Kelsey and the fact that Kelsey was going through some things. So that's what made Nosy Rosie ask the questions that she asked. And Nosy Rosie was just asking up for follow-up questions. And I think Joellen realized that she kind of put her foot in the mouth. Hey, Lady B, salutations, my beautiful. So I think Joellen definitely brought up Kelsey first and what Kelsey had going on. So that was another incident where she was being disingenuous because she definitely brought her up first. Now, whether she realized she put her foot in the mouth once Nosy Rosie started acting up follow-up questions, the fact still remains that Joellen did bring up Kelsey first, and that's what made Nosy Rosie get on her game and ask the questions, which she's supposed to do. There's an ensemble cast. This is how we carry the storylines. This is how we get stuff going. And y'all know that was like the first episode, or maybe the first or second episode, when they had that little picnic down to Rosie's little spot or whatever. And here's the whole thing about all of them anyway. It gives me mean girlish. And I do believe that Liz, because she's the oldest, she probably does have a head BITCH in charge. You know what I'm saying? And I can get it. I mean, y'all thus far before y'all got on this show, everybody always cowered down to it because that's what it's giving me. Because I didn't even like last week when they was at the trivia night and Alicia walked over to Rosie talking about, oh, well, I want to defend you, but I don't want y'all mad at me. I thought that was so like elementary. And girl, what are you talking about? You don't want them mad at you. Right is right and wrong is wrong. So the fact that you're worried about the rest of the people being mad at you because you want to stick up for Rosie, that to me gave me cliquish, gave me high schoolish, like, you know what I'm saying? And y'all all follow whoever, whatever. And because Kelsey is so-called really close to Liz, so everybody's going to be jumping on Kelsey's side because she's close to Liz. And yeah, that to me was like real corny. I just thought that was real whack and corny. So, but now I see, right? Now we see what happens when they get the wrath to Liz, okay? Because prior to this whole Alicia thing happening and them riding down to Boston to the husband, Rosie's husband's little show, whatever, it seemed like all of them were afraid of Liz. The fact that Alicia literally turned around to Liz, Joellen, and Kelsey and said, oh, I don't want y'all afraid of me if I defend her. But now that it's their turn to have to deal with the wrath of Liz, now all of a sudden Liz is a mean girl. Liz is acting unhinged, blah, blah, blah. Now, I ain't gonna hold y'all. I said from day one that Liz be getting high on them gummies, okay? They're legal, so ain't nothing wrong with it. They're not hard drugs. They're not cocaine. I mean, a lot of people feel like weed is gateway drugs. I personally never believe that. I've never smoked a blunt and wanted to go do crack. I'm just going to be honest with you. It never gave, I want to go do crack now that I didn't smoke this blunt. So I've never really agreed with that notion that weed is a gateway drug, but for everybody it's different. Some people don't even smoke weed because it makes them paranoid. They prefer to drink. You know what I'm saying? So it affects everybody's body differently, whatever. However, that's not really I do personally believe, like I said, that Liz do be, she intakes her gummies. I think she do the gummies. Now, she did say she came out with a menopause gummy, which I really want to check out. But then, I'm kind of on the fence because I don't want to support nobody that support MAGA. And I told y'all we discovered that all of them except for Rosie and Kelsey are MAGA. You know what I'm saying? So Liz is my favorite. Liz was my favorite. Rosie and Liz is my favorite. Joellen is definitely disingenuous though. And Joellen, the fact that everything that she was doing with Ruler. Now, here's the thing that bothers me about Joellen and the Ruler situation. Joellen is best friends with the slur of a trick that was messing with Ruler's husband. So I really believe that the slur that was messing with Ruler's husband wanted to be on that show. She found out that they was gonna have a show. She wanted to be on that show. Joellen is really good friends with her. And see, Joellen got caught up 3 different times of lying about the relationship she has with homegirl that she keep getting all this information to bring back to Ruler. Now, first she said that she was a friend of a friend when they was down to Newport. When they went to Newport where they had the slide or whatever down to the whatever castle, whatever they want to call that thing, right? So when she was showing them the video, she was like, "Oh yeah," and the friend was like, "And Nosy Rosie, shout out to my boo Nosy Rosie, okay?" Because she asked the right questions. But when they was down there, Joellen was specifically asking, how does she keep getting this information? Oh, we have mutual friends. Then I watched Joellen do an interview where she said, well, yeah, I known the girl 10 plus years. I technically believe because Ruler's husband does cosmetic surgery. He has a cosmetic surgery office. We know that Joellen been working in cosmetic offices since she was a teenager. When she was allegedly, rumor has it, where on the curve is, I don't know. But they say she was sleeping with the boss, and then she started having a threesome with the boss and his wife. And Joellen has admitted to being a slur in her day. She has admitted to she slept with Kelsey's ex-boyfriend, the sugar daddy. She done slept with him. She slept with the brother. So Joellen admitted to being a slur. We know that her husband was actually dating her sister in high school, but she had a big old crush on him. She chased him down until she got, wrangled him up and got him to marry her. So I absolutely do believe that Joellen is friends with Ruler's husband's side piece. And I believe they plotted on this woman to get that side piece on the show. And what I don't like about I don't like none of it, because at the end of the day, it could be any one of their marriages. Allegedly, rumor has the word on the cover is all of their husbands are actually cheaters. From my understanding, the ones that are married. I don't know about my boo Ashley, the one that's always crying. You know what I'm saying? Candace 2.0. Y'all know who Candy Girl is from Potomac. Candy 2.0, okay? But she's a lot nicer than Candy, you know what I'm saying? But she's Candy 2.0 with the crying. We're going to have to get her the triangle napkin. Because, baby, when I tell you Alicia cries out of drop, and I really think Alicia is dealing with postpartum. And I think that's why it's so easy. Not Alicia, Ashley is dealing with postpartum. Ashley's the one that's married. Her and her husband was on The Bachelor, and they met on the Bachelor show, and they end up getting married, and they're still going strong. She has 2 young children, and she got a lot of things on her plate because the coffee shop that her husband owned, they're really just breaking even. So it's causing a lot of stress, and it's taking away her husband from being there for the family. So I definitely believe that Ashley is dealing with postpartum, and I really hope that she goes and get that checked out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think Ashley's dealing with postpartum. Their children are really young. They got a business that they haven't really made profit off of yet. They're pouring a lot more into where more than they're getting out of it. So I really think that, and, she's a mother of 2 young kids. Both of her kids are really little. So, I'm going to give Ashley grace with the crying. I really believe that she's dealing with postpartum, and I really hope she goes and gets that checked out. You know what? When the reunion time comes, maybe Ashley will have gotten that checked out by then. But Joellen is disingenuous. And like I said, the whole situation with Joellen and Ruler is really nasty and disgusting. And the fact that, Joellen was trying to oppose it as if she's trying to be a girl's girl. Okay, well, if Ruler don't want to hear no more about it, then why do you keep insisting on? And I really think, y'all remember when they had the Derby Day, right? And he left. He said there was a hospital call, and they found out, okay, well, maybe it wasn't a hospital call because they even showed some right then at the thing. Now, here's where I feel like they've been plotting on Ruler. But I already told you, I feel like a lot of them are jealous of Ruler, Rosie and Ruler, because Rosie and Ruler, technically the only ones that got real careers and that really got it out the mud for themselves compared to the other women. We know that Alicia is 9 years engaged to a man whose business that she invested in. She ain't even got her name on the goddamn house that they live in. She ain't got a name on the house. She ain't got no equity in the business. She ain't got nothing going on with that business. While she's the one who pumped all the ideas and helped get the business off the ground, and help get the business, you know what I'm saying? Because y'all know it's called Mama Pizza or something like that. So Alicia is really in the hole, her goddamn herself. So I really do believe that a lot of these women are jealous of Rosie and Alicia because they kind of have a different, you know what I'm saying, upbringing. Rosie got it out the mud. Ruler got it out the mud. If Ruler decide to leave her husband, Ruler won't be broke. Okay, Ruler ain't got to worry about no sugar daddy paying for nothing. You know what I'm saying? She ain't got to worry about losing her house or anything like that because Ruler got her own business and got her own money. Okay. So I definitely believe a lot of them are jealous of Ruler and Rosie for that simple fact. And I don't think Rosie or I don't think Rosie or Ruler is originally from Rhode Island either. So I really think it's a cliquish thing when it comes to Ruler and Rosie and the rest of the ladies. And this is why a lot of them have such loyalty to Liz. And you know what I'm saying? And you know, allegedly rumor has a word on the curve. I don't know how true this is, Buttercups, but this is what they saying on these streets, baby. That, you know, Liz and that Dino character. Y'all know I was telling y'all about the Dino character, right? That is married to Aaron Hernandez's daughter's mother. I believe they're married and they have a child together now. Well, the dude Dino, that's Liz's best friend, quote unquote. Now, I don't know if I didn't tell y'all this grease about Liz and what's going on with Dino and that whole situation. Well, Dino right now, I think I did tell y'all, Dino right now has a court date coming up. He got like 6 felony charges coming down the pipeline. And one of them, a few of them is drug distribution and all of this. So a lot of people, allegedly, the rumor on the curve is that Liz is connected to the mafia. And this is why a lot of the women on the show are afraid of her. And I don't know, I don't know, Buttercups. This is the grease that's on the curve. And, homeboy Dino do got some court cases coming up and they're federal. So I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, they all they all do have a fear of Liz, and I don't think it's just because she's the older. I really do. She might have connections to the mafia. They bring up the mob ties in Rhode Island and all. You know how the mob got ties in Rhode Island and all that. Y'all know they say the Kennedys was a part of the Irish mafia. Allegedly, rumor has it, word on the curve is, when they was bootleggers. Okay, you know what I'm saying? That before liquor became legal, they said that's how the Kennedys made their money. Now, there wouldn't be no Kennedy slander, okay? Because y'all know I love the Kennedy family, okay? Nobody's perfect. But the way they got Massachusetts set up, baby, that's why everybody and their mama come here before they go anywhere else to get, especially if you coming with nothing and you trying to get your feet up on the ground and get something going. That's why everybody come to Massachusetts. Then they, spread out and go other places, okay? But shout out to the Kennedys. Anywho, I digress. It ain't about the mafia. But I do think that plays into why everybody is afraid of Liz. Not only is she the oldest one out the crew, she has some, she got some real connections down here to the Rhode Island, okay? Listen, okay? But if y'all want me to come back with the Dino grease, because the Dino grease is real interesting. Like I said, Gino, did I call him Dino? Is it Dino? Gino or Dino? One of those are his names. But like I said, he's married to Aaron Hernandez's daughter's mother. And they still currently married. So I'm trying to figure out when did Kelsey date him, because Kelsey apparently dated him too. She called him, she said y'all know her and Liz fell out about the whole Dino character being associated or whatever and all that. Because, everybody said that Liz was having an affair with him, all this other nonsense. I don't know. But, the boat and the husband fishing and all that, there's some word on the curve, allegedly. I don't know how true this is. I ain't saying this to be fact, but the rumors are rumoring, okay? When it comes to Liz and Dino and being connected to the mafia and distributing drugs and all this other stuff, it get real thick down there, okay? Down to the Rhode Island when it comes to Liz. Anyway, moving along. So I do believe that Joellen is disingenuous, and I don't believe that Liz acted unhinged. She asked Joellen to leave her alone, and Joellen kept it going. At the end of the day, if you know Liz and you know Liz's temper, why would you keep going? Once y'all got in that restaurant and sat down, like I said, you should have ordered the drinks and let the moment pass, okay? Listen, number one, Buttercup. Hey, Rachel, salutations, Buttercup. So I think Joellen wasn't antagonizing Liz. So she got what she was looking for. If Liz told you to chill out, leave it alone, because she did definitely told, she kept, oh, you okay? There's a reason why Joellen kept asking her, is she okay? Joellen know that she was being disingenuous. Not only did she know that she was being disingenuous, she knew that what she told Liz, which was, yeah, my husband said that Alicia wasn't homeless neither. So for Joellen to sit up there and act like she didn't understand where Liz was coming from, and this is where I said, yeah, Joellen she definitely wants first chair. That's why she started bringing Rula's slide piece. That's her best friend, you know, the Slur Club. Because Joellen is definitely a slur, if the rumors to be true. I mean, she admitted sleeping with Kelsey's sugar daddy and his brother. So I don't know, Buttercups. You know what I'm saying? It's giving slur activities, okay? Joellen even said this is why her mother sent her away. Like, you know, I already told y'all how I feel about the Joellen situation. Girl, I got no sympathy for you. You a mother now. You should have been worked that out. You still walk around like a mean girl. And if you claim that you got that from your upbringing, I believe that you probably gave your mother a lot more hell than just being promiscuous. She claimed the only hell she gave her mother was being promiscuous. I highly doubt your mother sent you away just because you was being a slur. But anyway, I don't know. I'm just saying that's my opinion. It's just my opinion, okay? But Joellen is a known slur, so I'm not surprised that she is best friends with Rula's husband's side chick. And like I said, they plotted to bring that woman on that show. That side piece is desperate to be on that show, and I feel like what they thought they was doing was cute. They want to taunt and harass Rula because she won't leave her husband. And apparently her husband won't leave her. They want to claim that this man's in love with the side piece, but he ain't leaving his family. So who's the dummy? You know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah, Rula might be a dummy if she stay with a cheating husband, but at the end of the day, that's her husband. She got the paperwork. They got the kids. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I really think Joellen is disingenuous in the whole plot with Rula and her family and keep running that in the mud. And you know what I'm saying? The fact that they even bring that up next episode is pissing me off. Like y'all had all this time to talk to her about this so-called video that I really, now let's get back to that video, right? So when Joellen was lying, talking about, oh, a friend of a friend sent it to me, we got mutual friends, my boo Rosie asked the right question. Who was there taking the pictures? How did they know to be there taking the pictures? I mean, it's clearly a setup, and Joellen is clearly in cahoots with the side piece to get her on the show so they can think they're gonna embarrass. Because I really think they're taunting and harassing Joellen. I mean, Rula with this side piece. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, girl, scamming and conniving. So I agree with Liz. Baby, I totally agree with Liz. And Joellen should have stayed out her face and gave her a moment. Period. Now, here we go. We move on. Joellen, Liz sits down with Dolores and Kelsey. She tells her what happened. She explains how, you know, why she got so irate with Joellen, which I don't blame her. I do want to know what she whispered in Joellen's ear because Joellen was out of there, baby. Joellen was out of there. You understand? Liz was in that ear and Joellen walked out the door. So I do wonder what Joellen said. I mean, Liz said in Joellen's ear that got her to run up out of there and hop in that car and go on back to Rhode Island. Okay? Because Liz was gone, baby. I mean, Joellen was gone. Okay? Now, like I said, I do think, you know, I get it. Liz, like said, she didn't want Alicia embarrassing her family, but Alicia's mother even said that they was homeless. So at this point, Liz, I hope when it comes to the reunion, you could just apologize again, because y'all going to have to talk about it at the reunion and just leave it at that, Liz. Don't even get in your feelings again. Don't do none of that. Just go ahead and let it be, okay? Yeah, she's getting now, and that's what I'm saying. Here's the thing. I don't even think it's real time because apparently, allegedly, all this stuff that Joelle is bringing is really outdated. It's from 2 years ago. Now, I don't know if they filmed this last year, but apparently that was from 2 years ago. That's why I said some of the things that Joelle is coming up with, they're purposely trying to do that because they want to get that side piece slur on the show. And I don't know why this slur think it's cute or funny that she's messing with a married man. I don't even know why she think people are going to be on her side if she come on that show. It just sounds crazy to me. Like at the end of the day, the man ain't left his family. He don't plan on leaving his family. So the fact that you using your slur friend Joellen to taunt and harass this woman and batter this woman because her husband cheated on her is sick and it's diabolical. It's very diabolical. So I'm not a fan of Joellen's slur Ellen. I just don't. And like I said, I just hope Joellen have that same energy because baby, we know they coming back for season 2 because they doing real good. Hey, Sunray. Salutations, Buttercup. They doing real good. So we know they're gonna be back for season 2. And baby, they better buckle up. They better buckle up. Okay. Cause all they little husband side pieces about to come out the woodwork too. Okay. So I just hope Joellen got that same energy that she got for Ruler when her husband's infidelities come up and they get pulled to the forefront. First of all, people already think Joellen and Joellen's husband sister be fooling around. Like they still got a thing because Joellen, when she goes out of town, her sister stays and helps the brother with the kids. Bitch, you couldn't hire a nanny? Girl. And the way they be flirting and be all up on each other, baby, a lot of people feel like Joellen and her sister got a sister-wife situation going on, literally and technically, okay? Yeah, because the husband and the sister, seems really close and really flirtatious. And Joellen, I'm fine with that. I know they wouldn't do nothing. Joellen no care because she know how much of a slore she was and how many husbands she slept with. She don't care about her sister sleeping with her husband because first of all, she stole her sister's boyfriend. That was her sister's high school boyfriend. Yeah, that's the thing. She do, and I think that's why she doesn't even really want to film with them. But I guess Andy did address that Ruler because people try to make it seem like Ruler wasn't filming with them. No, Ruler's protecting her peace, and it seems like every time she get around them, as we're gonna see for the next episode, as soon as they look, she trying to throw a party at her house, and they want to bring up the slur. And I don't know why. For the life of me, I don't know why they want this to be such a storyline. Like I said, be careful. Be careful when digging holes for other people. Because your ditch is going to be a lot bigger. And I don't know what Joellen ain't understanding about that, but hey, she's a mean girl. And she, she wants to blame her mother, even though she's a grown-ass woman with her own kids now. So at the end of the day, that's not a good excuse for me for you to be a grown mean girl. And like I said, Joelle is a piece of work. But anywho, everybody's talking about it. Alicia's daughter she's in the dance, so she won like a semifinal or something like that. So the family meets up for dinner at this restaurant that they love in Rhode Island. It's like a staple in Rhode Island, whatever. So they get into the situation that happened with Liz. Apparently Liz is supposed to be close with these aunts because these aunts is who Liz is really best friends with. So they start ragging and tagging Liz. You know what I'm saying? For Joellen. I mean, for Alicia. Alicia didn't really be, you know what I'm saying? But the sister was like, wait a minute, why is she doing all that? X, Y, Z, you know what I'm saying? So they ragtagged and Liz a little bit. I do wonder how that's going to play out when Liz shows up. When they get to the reunion, I do wonder how Liz is going to feel about the people ultimately that Liz was trying to protect actually turning up on her, when it comes to Alicia. I do wonder how that's going to play out at the reunion. Because I know by now, Liz has seen that scene where the sisters and the aunts is like, yeah, girl, Liz is doing too much. She need to back down, mind her business. And, they even made a statement that Liz is jealous of Alicia. I love the aunties down. I even they started their own Instagram page and I follow them on Instagram. But I promise you, ain't nobody jealous of Alicia's life, baby. All them pretty dolls. Because that's apparently all she got to her name. I highly doubt Liz is jealous, okay? Alicia ain't got, she been engaged for 9 years. She ain't got her name on the house. She ain't got her name on the business. Alicia really don't got nothing. So I highly doubt Liz is jealous of Alicia. I'm just sorry. I'm just going to keep it a buck. And technically it's giving Alicia's a sugar baby too. Hers just happened to, offer her a ring. But apparently he didn't even do that properly. So technically Alicia is a sugar baby by proxy. Okay. I don't think she realized it. Girl, she a sugar baby. But anywho, because she don't get no money from that, the fiance, the 90-year, what they call it, 9-year fiance, 90-year virgin, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. Anywho, moving along. So they have their dinner, whatever. Liz and Dolores and Kelsey sit down and they talk, Dolores and Liz, whatever. I mean, yeah, Dolores, okay, cool, whatever. But everybody is technically scared of Liz because, I will give it that Kelsey said, because, Dolores was like, well, what would you have done if you was there? And, Kelsey kept it a buck. I really don't want to be in it. You know what I'm saying? I really don't want no parts of it because, her and Liz already got into it down to Liz's party. And, when the whole Dino Gino, whatever his name is, came up. Liz went off on her. So Kelsey's like, I don't want no part of it. I would have stayed out of it. Be honest with you, I would have stayed out of it. You know what I'm saying? So whatever, they move on. So now Joe Ellen and Alicia and her husband talks about the shop. Okay, that was a boring scene. Shout out to Ashley, excuse me. I don't know why I keep missing because they're both A's. But shout out to Ashley and her husband. They talked about their shop and if they're gonna renew they need to implement. They do have a coffee to alcohol hour, whatever. Okay, cool. Shout out to Ashley. That was that scene was not very interesting. Moving along, but shout out to Ashley. And her husband. But yeah, so where we get down to now. So Liz and Joellen. I think, is this where we get to now? Okay, no, Joellen and Kelsey meet up. So Joellen and Kelsey meet up. They have a little paint day. Joellen's telling Kelsey how she feel like, hold on, Buttercups. So where was I at, Buttercup? Sorry about that. Hold on, god darn it. Okay, this is where I was at. So Joellen and Kelsey meet up. Joellen's like, explain to Kelsey what happened, how she felt like Liz was very aggressive and It did look like Liz yanked her hair, but as far as kicking her, I don't know if Liz really kicked her, more so moved her chair from her because she already asked Joellen to leave her alone, let it go. She didn't want to be bothered with the conversation no more. She even said, listen, I'm going out to smoke a cigarette. If y'all want to talk about it while I'm going, cool. Instead of Joellen standing there and letting Liz go smoke her cigarette, Joellen want to follow her outside like, what's wrong? What's going on? And, Liz is just peeved at this point because it's like, girl, you really want to sit up here and act like you didn't say the same thing I said? And girl, no. So at this point, Joellen should have just left Liz alone. Let Liz cool down. Let, Liz, gather herself real quick. Okay. Joellen, like I said, I really feel like she brought that on. And now, Liz is such a mean person. Liz is so horrible. Liz, da, 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 da. Okay. Y'all all already knew this. Y'all all was already scared of Liz. It's evident that all of y'all are scared of Liz. I mean, it's just evident. Like, it's evident. But I guess now everybody's going to get ballsy. Because, Joellen did threaten to punch her in the face or whatever. I don't know, whatever. She's a little chihuahua. So Joellen might have, Liz is a little older. Liz in her 50s. So she might have, she might have. But I tell you what, shoot, girl, they say Liz is a part of the mob. So I think this is what I think. I think they do know where they can go and where not to go with Liz. And even if Liz couldn't handle Joellen, Liz would find somebody that could handle Joellen. So I think Joellen, like I said, I still want to know what Liz said in Joellen's ear that her hightail up out of there back to Rhode Island all by her lonesome, okay? Because Liz must have said something, baby. Because Joellen got the heck up out of there, baby. She got the heck up out of there. So whatever she said in that girl's ear, it got her to running, okay? So where was we at, Buttercups? Okay, so Joellen's talking to Kelsey, asking Kelsey, whose side? Kelsey, do you think I did anything wrong? Kelsey's like, nah, I don't think you did anything outrageous. I don't think nothing was wrong with you did. Well, did you tell Liz that? Kelsey, I don't know if Kelsey said that, but Kelsey definitely didn't tell Liz that. Kelsey said, I ain't want no parts of it. So no, Kelsey ain't gonna tell Liz that, okay? Kelsey is not gonna tell Liz that. Okay, so that's that. They did a little paying thing, Apparently, Kelsey got all these hidden gems, but for whatever reason, she decided to be a sugar baby rather than pointing in on her gifts that she got. Because apparently, she do makeup, and I could see it. She's an artist. Apparently, she was into art. Blah blah blah. Okay, whatever. Move along. That they did a little paint thing. Okay, they had that conversation. Moving along. So Joellen and Liz end up meeting. Joellen, Liz wasn't trying to hear nothing Joellen was saying because, and Liz told her, I think you're disingenuous. And, shout out to the producers because they showed us each and every time that Joellen was definitely disingenuous. So, yeah, shout out to them. But yeah, so Liz wasn't really trying to hear nothing Joellen was trying to say, because at the end of the day, Joellen was looking for apology for Liz being so aggressive with her. But at the end of the day, had you left Liz alone, then she wouldn't have been aggressive with you. Read the room, Joellen, Slorellen. Read the room. You should allow Liz to calm down and catch herself, okay, before you want to start antagonizing her. Me personally, unpopular opinion, because my boo Liz is getting dragged all over social media. I believe opposite. I do not believe that I believe Joellen asked for it. She was antagonizing Liz. Liz told her to leave her the hell alone, and she wanted to keep it going. Okay, so she got what she was looking for. She wanted Liz's attention, so Liz gave it to her. Okay. So anywho, so they get to sit down and talk. They ain't really getting no resolve. Liz told her to her face, I feel like you're disingenuous. I just don't, I feel like you was disingenuous. Joellen's talking about, you put your hands on me and X, Y, Z, you kicked me. Like I said, I don't think Liz kicked her, but I do definitely believe Liz moved that chair out. I mean, we seen Liz move the chair. She wanted Joellen away from her because Joellen wouldn't let it go. You know what I'm saying? So she pushed the chair, get the heck out, get away from me, girl. I don't want you next to me, okay? So she didn't even get to finish her cigarette. You know what I'm saying? And you coming in here behind her and you still in that ear with the nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Leave the girl alone. Let her calm down. Maybe y'all can have the conversation on the ride back, or maybe the next day. I don't know. But Joellen should have left Liz alone. So Liz was out of there. Liz didn't want to hear that. That was the end of that. Next week, shout out to the Rhode Island girls. I'm enjoying it. Like I said, if y'all want me to come back and get into, the rumors and the grease that's going around about, different cast members, we can get into that. But shout out to them. I'm good. I'm waiting for my co-host, because we're about to get into Love and Marriage Huntsville. In fact, we're gonna take a real quick intermission while I go check and see if my co-host is ready. And thank you guys. I hope y'all are enjoying the okay. For not stopping her nonsense. Okay, Slor Ellen, okay, and her and that ruler's trick of a Slor thirsty. When I tell you that side piece is so thirsty, the girl is thirsty. I ain't like, girl, you really want to come out here and act like people gonna be on your side? You're sleeping with a married man. I just don't get the whole mind frame behind Slor Ellen and her best friend. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what they think. They want this girl to get her 15 minutes of fame. Well, go ahead, bring her on the show and see how fast she get ragtagged and dragged and mollywopped all up and through. Go ahead and bring her on that show if you want to, Joellen, Slor Ellen. Bring your little slore ass friend up on there if you want to. Okay, because she ain't getting no kudo points. Y'all do not look cute trying to tear down that woman and just throw this affair in her face. Okay, there go my boo. Let that woman handle her business with her husband. Whatever she chooses to do with her husband, that's her goddamn husband. They got children. Okay? But trust and believe. I tell you, like I said, I guarantee you this. A ruler won't be broke. A ruler won't be broke. Okay? Leave that woman alone. Leave that woman alone. And you moving along. Hey, Lady Ro.
Hello. How y'all doing?
We doing all right. I just finished my Rhode Island. Y'all make sure y'all check back here for next week's Rhode Island review. And we're about to get into our Love and Marriage Huntsville, baby. How you doing?
I'm blessed. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm blessed, but I'm all right. One thing about ButterFlii, there is never a dull moment in my life. Can I be transparent? There's never a dull moment in my life. I just really been trying to get my bearings, but we here. We here, and I feel all right. In this moment, I'm doing all right.
That's what Stilly said on the color purple. I'm here.
Okay, that's what I got for today. Check in with me tomorrow. It'll probably be the same, but hey, I'm here. But yes, baby. So you haven't got into Rhode Island, correct? Not yet.
I have not.
Okay. Well, you might end up binge watching it. Like I'm about to end up binge watching Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like I watched the clips, but I don't know. I just been into Rhode Island and my other shows. I ain't really got into Atlanta all like that yet.
I got you.
Oh, thank you, Temper Blue. Temper Blue said wonderful review yesterday, Lady Ro.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the review and everybody that was in there. It was a great time. We had a good time in the review.
Oh, I'm sorry I missed it. I was out touching grass. I'm sorry. But I'm glad you're here today. So, okay, where should we start, Buttercups?
You tell me. Let's go.
Okay, I guess we could. Okay. Well, I'm gonna start with the things I love, and we're gonna get into the Marceau and the Tisha of it all, baby. Whew. Okay, so we resume at the dinner. Martell still going off. Now here's what I do. Oh yeah, I gotta touch on this. This is what pissed me off about Chris Fletcher, right? Your wife is telling you that she wish you would handle your friend, and you talking about, oh well, you know how your friend. We know how he get down. He just gonna keep going. Who cares if you know how you're going to get down? You should not allow that man to talk to your wife like that.
That part.
What are we talking about? Oh, well, you know how he do. He going to keep going and going. Your wife literally told you and asked you to help. At some point, you need to step up and be her husband. And you come up, oh, you know how Martell is. Yeah, I know how Martell is, and I know how you better be. When it comes to me. Because the way, he was literally in Nell's face. And I didn't realize he was talking to Nell until Destiny, trying to calm him down. I thought he was still talking to Martell. talking to Maurice.
He told Nell to shut the F up. That's what he said.
Baby, and Chris girl really sitting there calm as day. Well, looking all droopy and sad. Man, Chris pissed me clear off. And my thing is, Nell, you got the energy where you don't be needing to have that energy. In that moment is when you need to have that energy. Now, I would have took you yelling, cussing, and screaming in that moment. Because the way you needed to gather with your husband, talk about you know how Martell is.
Right.
Even if he didn't want to stop Martell, he should have got up and made you move and switch seats, because he shouldn't even been in your face talking about shut the hell F up. Like, he didn't even make no gesture at all. Like, I found that really, like, really, Chris?
Appalling.
I really found that appalling. So, everybody, oh, we love the Fletchers. We love the Fletchers. Okay, love the Fletchers. But Chris is a mess and a mess and a half, baby. Chris is a mess and a half.
That part.
But okay, so that part I didn't really appreciate. But anywho, so they get down to that. They Marceau, tells everybody chill out. Tell Maurice to chill out. He ain't got no self-control. Maurice is like, yeah. Marceau felt like it was drunk driving. Well, guess what, Martell? Not Marceau. Martell feels like it was drunk driving. At the end of the day, the man was found not guilty. The case got dismissed, so we'll never know if it was drunk driving or not. So to keep putting that out there is, kind of tacky. Okay. Because I can see if he went all the way to court and got found guilty. He didn't get found guilty. And anything could have happened. He could have fell asleep at the wheel. He could have lost consciousness because he might really had a blackout moment or something. I don't know. But anyway, so that's the end of that. So the next, they retire. Everybody retire, go to bed for the night. They meet up the next day.
Hold on. Okay. Kimmy really set that wheel in motion with Martell.
Oh my God, boy, did she! And she did that on purpose.
Yeah.
And now, when Kimmy said what she said, when she told Maurice not to invite him, because remember I told y'all last week with the review, I told y'all I think Kimmy is really upset about that interview that Ariane and Martell did down, because like I said, Maurice caught a stray, and I think Kimmy's still upset about that. I really do think Kimmy's still upset about that. And she didn't want Martell on the trip. And she feels like you're so forgiving of a man that literally went and got some hood booger from off the curb and made it, you know what I'm saying? So I think Kimmy's still in her feelings from that interview. And the fact that Maurice wanted to still invite Martell. So we find out that it was Maurice that wanted Martell to still come.
Right.
So I really, yeah. So that, yeah. So what do you think so far, babe?
I really think that they would kind of let Kimmy slide. I think Martell called it out, and Marceau called it out that Kimmy actually started that whole situation with Martell at the table because that one incident clicked Martell off, because in Maurice's fashion, he became condescending. Martell doesn't take very kindly to condescending tones, and he just clicked on him. So Kimmy actually set that in motion. Martell was out of control. I've said from the beginning that Martell has an impulse control issue, and he was supposed to be going to therapy, court ordered. And if he did go, he needs some more sessions, because he didn't learn diddly squat.
Yeah. I noticed that about them Huntsville men. None of them really, I mean, except for Maurice. Maurice seemed like he was opening up to therapy, but a lot of them have an issue with going to therapy.
I agree with that.
A lot of them have an issue with going to therapy. I think, matter of fact, I think Chris and Maurice is the only one that kind of was open to that, because, we can't forget that Chris, the Fletchers had their own therapy session. But yeah, they give me, why don't y'all want to go to therapy? You know what I mean? Because it's like, yeah.
But I think I think they all think they know it all. So much case in point. Later on in the episode, we see Maurice and Marceau talking, and I believe they kind of bounce off each other as though they're therapists. Same way with Ken and Will. I think Ken and Will sit on that sofa so much that they feel like they're experts at whatever they talk about, and it's not always the truth or reality or the way that they make it seem. I'll put it
right. Right. I'm glad you pointed that out, because Ken and Will do that. They got their own podcast too. So yeah, they like to bounce off each other, which I think, Maurice giving him the idea to tell Tisha, that he want to buy her out. I don't think that was a good idea.
That was wild. He should have never let, because Tisha and Kimmy are two totally different people in two different walks of life, and to even get into the atmosphere, I think, was dangerous for Marceau. And I think Maurice operates in a different way, but that was detrimental to Tisha. Detrimental to
that
her.
was, and that took her off guard, because it made her think that this man wanted a divorce. So that definitely wasn't the angle to come from at all.
I agree, 100%.
At all. Yeah. Will and Destiny sit down. I guess we didn't get to see it, but I guess Will is saying that Destiny gets a little more aggressive when she starts drinking, and Destiny's like, nah, baby, I'm like that all the time. Which I technically believe that, we know that Destiny got her guard up. She's been through a lot, even down into that little old Huntsville. Destiny has been through a lot, so I can see her having a guard up, but I can also see it being a little bit more worse when we bring in the spirits. But we didn't get to see Destiny acting a fool, so I don't know what Will talking about.
We saw a little bit of it. Martell's collar was all jacked up from.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm talking about, Chris. Why Destiny gotta get your man in order? Get Martell in order for how this man talking to your wife. Because that was crazy. So kudos to Destiny for ringing Martell up, even though he kind of, but it's just crazy because he didn't really go off on Destiny. He did tell her to get her damn hands off of him, but he didn't really go too far. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him.
Destiny was drunk. That's what he said.
Right. That's why I was like, yeah. Martell did say Destiny was drunk. So I guess they all was drunk. Shit, they probably was sitting there for hours filming.
But if you
Lord knows, we only got.
If you look around the table, Trisha's eyes were almost closed. I'm sure they all had a lot of wine. Because wine relaxes you. It actually helps you go to bed really good. So I'm sure
that's why I said I ain't messing with that red wine no more, y'all. Remember that Friday I called myself out a red wine special? I said, oh no, I'll be sticking to my buzzball, because that red wine was definitely putting me to sleep. You ain't lying about that. Red wine really does like bring your mood down. That's really a nightcap if you want to go lay down. Yeah. That I think we lost you, Lady Ro.
No, here I went on mute.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I was trying to pull up a picture of Martell's shirt so I can send it to you to post it.
Oh, yes.
Let me find
Destiny did kind of listen. Destiny definitely did kind of ring it. I mean, come on now, man. That was crazy. And he's in her face. That's why I was like, what is Chris talking about? How Martell, man.
You know what Destiny said? She said, who are you talking to?
Right. Girl, she had more reaction than Chris and Nell put together. Baby.
Destiny had me laughing so hard, especially as they went on and they kept saying that she had Rick. Well, Chris said she had an arm around his neck. So I don't know what happened, but I can only imagine. You got a table full of people that are inebriated, and they're just having a good time in the conversation. Something goes left, baby, they don't tell her what was happening at that table.
Girl, that part, really, honestly, we don't know. because especially because Kimmy wanted to set the little light the fire, but Kimberly definitely did that on purpose. But I guess she was trying to prove a point to Maurice, like this is why he shouldn't be around us, or because Kimmy, I wholeheartedly believe Kimmy is still pissed off about that interview. And because they don't want to talk about it on the show and they don't really want to bring it to life, Kimmy's not really going to admit that on the show. We might get it at the reunion, but I don't know. Now, here's what I found interesting, right? Now, was this the same dinner where they calmed it down and Marcel? No, that's the next dinner, right? Yeah, that's the next dinner. But anyway, moving along, I did like the table activity, the team building activity. I thought that was really cool for the guys to do. So I enjoyed that little scene with the guys putting their table together. And sure enough, Kimmy was over there talking about, I'm sweating. Yes, baby. I mean, and Marcel hit it on the nail when he said, yeah, Kimmy chose this because she wanted to see Maurice out of his soft hands era or whatever. So I think Kimmy definitely did set up that activity because she wants to see her man working. Okay, she wants to see that man working. Yeah, she did set herself up with the shenanigans because Martell went all the way to the left and he said, you were drinking. You were drinking. You were drunk. Maurice like,
you was drinking and driving. You was drinking.
Right, that part. You was drinking and driving.
Baby.
Okay, so yeah, Kimmy kind of set that up. And I guess she wanted that reaction because this is what I was talking about. This is why you shouldn't have brought him. And they all said that they feel like Maurice is the most graceful when it comes to Martell. And I think we've seen that. Martell and Maurice sitting down, ragtagging and dragging Marcel about his work ethic or how fast he finished projects. I think it does give. And Maurice was mentioned in that, he was a big part of that expose that Martell and Ariane called themselves doing. So I can see why Kimmy's like, really? This is still your, you know what I'm saying? This is still your road dog like that? Okay. Right. Kimmy's heated about that. Kimmy is heated. The Baltimore is it Kimmy, and she been trying to contain it. Baby, I can't wait to see the reunion because it look like her and Nell get into it. Yeah. Which I'm like, oh. Wow. Okay. Kimmy, the people are coming out. Okay. So move along. I love the activity. Like I said, I love that, the building activity with the benches and stuff like that. I thought that was real nice. No, I don't think Martell should be iced out. I don't, I really couldn't give you how Kimmy should have handled that. Like I said, they didn't want to bring it up on the show, but I think Kimmy needs resolve from that. She's still really highly upset about that situation. And I can see why she's upset because it's a constant thing with these men cheating on these women, even to the point where they get down to it at the dinner table. Because Martell brings up the question, oh, what's your Okay, we can move along. We're gonna get to the dinner. Was there any other interesting part? Am I skipping anything? Oh, Will and Ken talk about, how Ken feel about if him and Trish he really thinks him and Trish is gonna work out for a long time. Ken let him know that I really do love her. I really do want this to work, XYZ. But I think we all know that allegedly they're not together as of today. Shout out to Trish though. She finally got that divorce. So apparently she's finally divorced. So shout out to her. It just sucks that she lost the man after the divorce. But okay. Whatever. As long as she got away from Marquez. Marquez is not wrapped too tight. Apparently, allegedly, Marquez got a new girlfriend anyway. That's the word on the curb. I don't know. But in fact, I think he's engaged was the word I heard on the curb. I don't know. Oh, yeah. But I hope they don't bring him back. There was another rumor that they trying to bring him back for next season for what? This man threatened the cast and the crew members. What are y'all bringing him back for again? I'm going to be honest with you. If you ain't bringing Ariane on there, we definitely don't want to see Marquez. I mean, I would rather see Ariane than Marquez. I ain't even going to lie to y'all. Mm-hmm. That's just my opinion. Give me Ariane. I'll do Ariane over Marquez. But yeah.
And don't forget, even on that scene where Ken and Will were talking, Ken keeps trying to like insinuate that Will needs to be a part of Destiny's life or whatever. And then Will even went so far as to say that, he wouldn't want to deal with Destiny because he couldn't handle her being drunk, as though he had some type of say so. I believe Destiny chose not to fool with him because she said he's a walking red flag. I don't know.
Right. Right. And well, he did say her being drunk, which I wonder how many times has he been around her while she was drinking? Because it's like, eh, I don't know if it was that, if it just took that one time for him to realize that. Because that was, I don't know, that just seemed, yeah. Yeah, Will is, spreading his royal oats still. Allegedly, rumor has it word on the curve is he just had a brand new baby. I don't know. He already got how many kids? Like 5 or something like that already? So yeah, apparently, allegedly, I don't know how true it is, Buttercups, but they say the man just had another baby. So yeah,
Maybe
but
they don't
yeah,
believe in no Jimmy Hats down there in the Huntsville, do they?
a girl, they don't believe in no Jimmy heads. They believe in everybody. I don't know, girl. They got a lot going down.
Woo,
Yeah,
woo.
they got a lot going on down there, baby. I just don't know. Fast forward, we get to the dinner. They all, they go change, wash up, freshen up, get to the dinner table. They eating. They start having conversations. Ken brings up the fact that he doesn't, he would like to come to them for advice, because seeing how a lot of them have been married for a long time. But he didn't like the advice they was giving him to give up on Trish. And that's how I felt when they first came on the show. I felt like a lot of people wanted this man to give up on Trish. And I get it. She was still married, although separated for many years. Yeah, Will's definitely for the streets, girl. Yes, Susie. Will is definitely for the streets, okay? But he just need to strap it up. You know what I'm saying? I just don't. And Will admitted that he's not into commitment. He's not ready to commit. So my thing is, if you're not ready to commit, why keep creating children? That's just irresponsible on Will's tip. You know what I mean?
Right,
Especially if
right.
none of the women that you're laying down with, you're willing to commit to. Like, why keep having children with them? Because that's a lifetime commitment. That's just backwards. So Will's definitely a walking red flag.
Homes.
Will is definitely a walking red flag. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, it just create too many, yeah. But because that like I said, that's a more important commitment. That's the most important commitment you can have is being a parent. So yeah, well, anyway, moving along. So did I miss anything? Okay, we got Will and Ken's conversation. We got Will and Destiny. Tisha and what's his name? Maurice take a little walk in the field. They're discussing yesterday, like you said, Maurice pointed out that Kimmy did kind of set that on fire. And I would have to agree with Marceau. I think we all agree with Marceau. Kimmy definitely set that in motion. Then they get into, Destiny and Tisha finding a resolve. And, Marceau this time finally said something that wasn't so, off-putting, but he just told Tisha to make up her mind what she want to do. Either you going to try to work it out or you going to walk away from it. Really need to figure that out. I agree with him. Y'all gonna be friends, work it out. But if not, then go ahead and put a nail in the coffin. I kind of agree with that. You know what I mean? But so they have their little walk, whatever, and Tisha's like, oh, this is so cute. This gonna remind me of when we're all walking around our property, Scott, me, and yeah, all cute. Okay, cutesy. All right, boom. Everybody go wash up, get ready for dinner. Then we get to the dinner table. This is when they start having, real conversations. Kimmy and Maurice thanks everybody for coming. Appreciate everybody being there. Just showing, yeah, they want him to dog walk Trish, and that and I applaud Ken for because I felt like Ken kept it a buck and held it 10 toes down. You don't, if you really care about somebody, you just don't give up on them like that. And I applaud him for saying, hey, she spent the block, I spent the block. Why should I be extra more madder than her that she did exactly what I did? So I appreciate Ken, because most men are sensitive. Like I already told you, I really truly believe that if Tisha ever treated Marceau would not be able to handle that at all.
Oh, no. Not one
At
bit.
all.
Not one bit.
Yeah, so yeah, and I tend to agree with Ken on that. The men couldn't handle what Ken is able to handle. Ken gives me, he has a little bit more emotional maturity than the Scotts. And Martell, really. I don't know what Chris got, because Chris really is. And I think Chris gives me like, allegedly, I'm just my opinion, but Chris gives me, look, I kind of keep it low key. So so my things that I'm doing don't be on the radar, because allegedly rumor has it word on the coverage. Chris out there cheating. So I think for him, well, I don't know if this is true. I'm not saying it's true, but the word on the curve is Chris is still out there cheating. Okay. Y'all know that came up before, that Chris did cheat. They, they separated for a year and all this. They allegedly rumor has it word on the curve is Chris is still cheating. So I think Chris plays, he low key. He don't want to make too much fuss, because he don't want to bring too much attention to what he really got going on, in my opinion. I don't know this to be fact. These are the rumors down here in Huntsville. So they get to talking. Kim brings up how he didn't appreciate them kind of encouraging him to leave Trisha rather than working it out, especially seeing how a lot of them have long-term marriages and they've worked through a lot of things. Martell, yeah, I do.
Mm-hmm. ButterFlii.
Yes.
Before you go to that, I just want to plug one more thing in. Let's talk about Will calling Destiny combative. Did you have an issue with that? I hated that.
I did. And that's why I felt like, that's what I mean. But that's why I felt like, Destiny has a wall up, but Destiny kind of like me. If somebody comes to you with the bootleg lane, it's no point of beating around the bush, trying to play with it. Destiny gonna handle it head on. And when you're coming from a place that Destiny's coming from, I can understand her not wanting to beat around the bush. I don't even think it's combative, because it's like, if I don't agree with you, then I'm going, we're gonna have the conversation. I've got accused of being combative because I just don't agree with you. Like, and I don't necessarily think is that I'm being combative. I just don't see it how you see it. And I'm just going to be very clear, straight to the point like that, which I'm glad when she said, no, I'm not combative, I'm straight to the point. He did agree that she is straight to the point. I didn't like that he called her combative. Yeah, he did.
Back to, although he agreed with it, he says that sometimes she does things for the sake of, and then he said, she said, no, I respond. I was on the debate team. He goes, there you go, right there. And this, I don't think I'm combative. I just confront things in the moment. Will said that he felt like she was right. She was very direct, but he also believes when alcohol is involved, she becomes combative. And I think that is a dog whistle for Black women. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, look at this brat. She's combative. I don't like that. I just didn't like it.
Right. And here's the thing I have with them. I don't. It gives me, they like women that they can kind of like, they like really, really very, very submissive women. It's giving me. That's what it's giving me out of the Huntsville. I don't know if it's something in the water in Huntsville, but they do like women that don't give them too much pushback and kind of let them just run the show and don't have no input and don't have no say so. And I think that's why Will feel like Destiny is combative. Will gives me a Marceau type of mentality. You know what I'm saying? Once I say what I say, that's what it should be type situation.
Yeah, I see that.
Sorry, buddy, because you just take over real quick, Lady Ro. Hold on 1 second.
Okay. Yeah, I totally agree with the concept of the men being male chauvinists, but to call Black women aggressive and combative, abrasive, all of the buzzwords can be dangerous, because our counterparts in other ethnicities are not, with the same behaviors, are not called combative and abrasive and aggressive, just Black women. So I think that we've got to be careful about using those buzzwords, because they too could be dangerous. And I was kind of disappointed in Will, because I thought he was more intelligent than that. But I also think that Will also seems to be a little scorned, as though he doesn't take rejection real well. And he really wanted to get up under the underclothes, the undergarments of Destiny, and it wasn't allowed. So I believe that he sometimes kind of, I think that some of his behavior and mannerisms is because of that. Sarah, just because you believe that she's combative doesn't make it true, because combative is really a subjective thing. It's not always something that you observe. It can be subjective.
Right.
And just
Okay.
because I don't agree with you does not make me combative. Her trying to stop Martell from his behaviors at that table and she being a little inebriated may have been a little combativeness or aggressiveness by her grabbing him. But maybe that in her mind, when you're inebriated, people don't actually know exactly what they're actually doing. They don't really, next morning they may not even remember it. But I don't think, as we see Destiny from day to day, I don't think we've ever seen her be combative. We've seen her use her words, be very boisterous and with speaking, but combative, I think we need to take a little backstage on that combativeness. I don't really
Yeah,
like
I don't find Destiny combative neither. I do find, like she said, straight to the point. She's not gonna beat around the bush. She's gonna handle the situation right then and there.
But disagreeing with people does not make you combative, Sarah. You said Destiny hardly ever agrees with people about anything. That does not mean she's combative. It just doesn't. That just means we don't agree. But me and ButterFlii don't have to agree on nothing.
Girl, I'm about to say, Sarah, you ain't seen me and Lady Ro go back and forth.
And I would never say that she's being combative. You know what I'm saying?
Right. We just don't agree. We both be passionate about our points. You know what I'm saying? But shoot, it's all love. We always, we come to an understanding.
We're gonna keep
Yeah.
talking. We're gonna hug it
Yeah.
out after done and keep rolling.
Okay. Listen, that's it. That's it. Okay, we're gonna try to wheel it back in. Yeah.
Sarah said that y'all
Would you say, Sarah, that we combative?
No,
You know what, Sarah? I'm gonna let you have it, baby. I'm gonna let you have it. That's how you feel.
ain't letting you have it.
Okay, look, here we go. Look, I'm like, I'm gonna let you have it, and you'll say, okay.
Yeah,
Listen, yeah,
I don't like the buzzwords for Black women. I'm sorry, I just don't.
yeah,
I watched
yeah.
a video a few moments ago of this Caucasian girl at a graduation that was held inside of a stadium locally, and she is literally acting a plum donkey with some African American people. And you know what? The people that never saw, oh, she's being combative, oh, she's being aggressive. I never saw that in the comment. I saw, oh, she's upset over what? Some public seats. Girl, go sit down and relax and watch this graduation. But instead, she had a meltdown. But nobody, they call it everything but combative and all the other things that Black folks get called. All right, now we're gonna stop there. We're gonna get that in order. We're gonna get that.
Right.
I have to check myself on that as well. Hey, Brown Girls Rocks. I have to check
Hey,
myself.
beautiful. Hey, Brown Girls Rock. Hey, Buttercup. Yeah. The buzzwords for Black women, it gets tiring.
Yeah.
It gets tiring. Wait a minute, why it look like Sarah disappeared on me? Why I do that to my boo comment? Okay. Okay, everybody still see her. No, they don't.
I still see her.
Okay. It looked different on mine. I don't know why it looked like that. Okay. Oh, I forgot. It does that. It lets you know that you highlight the comment already. Okay, yeah. StreamYard always doing something new, but I can't take advantage of it.
I love that though. I'm glad they put that feature because I was always getting lost on StreamYard. So like, which comment was last? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Yep. That's what I was gonna say. I would love to take advantage of half the features. I ain't got my laptop yet, but anyway, I digress. But yeah, so that was kind of funny money. So we get to the table, Ken expresses how he doesn't really like that people came up with the okay, babe. It was looking weird. I'm like, wait, what is that? But Ken, brought up he didn't like, that they was encouraging him to leave her because they was going through a rough patch. But apparently they end up leaving each other. But anywho, I digress. So they get into it. And what was that reply to Ken's situation? Oh, that's when Tisha, jumped in and she said, I do want to apologize for thinking, bringing or interfering in your relationship. Now, I personally don't think when Tisha was talking to Trish, what I got from Tisha talking to Trish is I think she was giving her advice and not necessarily taking what's the stuff that people come back and say with a grain of salt. I don't think Tisha was necessarily trying to interfere in it because she did follow up with, look, now somebody's trying to run up to me and talk about, he be in the DMs, but I'm just saying right after that, she said, listen, people said a lot of things about me and my marriage too. I wouldn't necessarily believe or fall too much for what people say. So I didn't take it as Tisha was thank you. Right. But yeah, black woman, yeah. That part right there, Susie. I don't think that Tisha was coming from a malicious place like what has been done to her. So, but I appreciate her apologizing because maybe, Ken took it that way because of how Trish brought it back. They try to make that a thing. And even Marceau got on Tisha about that. How you going, I'm doing that, and you see what people try to do to our marriage and blah, 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 whatever. But anyway, Tisha.
The same thing. That's the crazy part. In last week's episode, he did the exact same thing after getting on to Tisha for doing it. Here's the thing. Tisha said after she apologized to Ken at the table, she said after he did his thing about, he thought that being in the group would be more positive.
Right.
Seeing that they were a new couple. And Tisha spoke up and she said, I want to apologize, about the DM, so on and so forth. And she said, she didn't have all the facts. She didn't know if they were true or not, but she was having a girlfriend to girlfriend conversation with Trisha. And I think that's fair. Because if I'm talking to a friend, we may talk about things that no one else should know, right? I'm not thinking that girlfriend who I'm having a girlfriend to girlfriend conversation with is going to go have pillow talk with her man and tell him what I just told her. You know what I'm saying? So I think her words out of context.
It was. Yes, Sarah. They forever twisted Tisha's words. But, I applaud for Tisha for apologizing because, like I said, when she was talking to Trisha, she wasn't coming at Trish like she was trying to carry a bone like we done seen other people do in the past. She was actually just, giving her advice like, when it comes to your relationship, keep out the outside noise. That's basically what Tisha was trying to say. I did hear some nonsense, and she's just keeping the buck with it. Somebody tried to roll up on me, talk about, oh, your man's and somebody. And she, like I said, she was just trying, tell her to be mindful to keep the outside noise. You know what I mean? Exactly. I don't, and people interpret it as if even Marceau interpreted it as she was being messy. And I don't think that was the case at all. And what I don't like too, what I see when Tisha has conversations, when they're sitting down as couples, as a friend group, and everybody's having a conversation, even if it's just the women talking, they seem to somehow always try to make it seem like Tisha's carrying bones and this and that. No, they're amongst each other. They're amongst women, something that, we probably all do in our girlfriend groups. We talk about different things that we experience in our relationships, try to, get advice from each other and stuff like that. I don't necessarily think the picture that they're trying to paint that Tisha does all this spreading and all of this. I don't get that. Because I know that she catch a lot of flack too in the comments. Oh, well, here you go. You don't like nobody talk about your marriage and da-da-da-da-da. And Tisha's not coming back. Oh, well, I heard this and da-da-da-da-da. She, Tisha asks questions before she go into, oh, well, this is what somebody told me and X, Y, and Z. And, so I just don't like that narrative that they're trying to paint about with Tisha, about that bone carrier business.
But can I just say this? This is something that I did mention. I put in my notes that I took is that Tisha has to be very careful about how she talks. And I think it's coming it's backfiring on her. We saw it in two different ways. What is your deal breaker? Tisha started that on episode 1, season 1. That was her conversation. She also went around talking about, she hadn't experienced infidelity in her relationship. She said that over and over and over, right? So when it came down to sitting up and talking to her girlfriend to girlfriend, those very words were used against Tisha. You know what I'm saying? They were definitely. Even Martell used those words against her at the table about the deal breaker. And she didn't fall for it because when he asked her, what's your deal breaker, Tisha? And she goes, he knows what my deal breaker is. I applaud her for not responding because he was really trying to get Tisha out of character. Is one thing I know is that Tisha does know how to respond to people. And she did he knows. He already knows there's no need to me respond. No need for me to respond. He already knows. But the very fact that she is having to learn a lesson about friends. You cannot go around. These people not only Even though Ken and Trisha are new, they are fans of the show. They were watching the show and they know all of the crap that you've gone through with your husband. So for you to get out here, because you did it with Nell and Fletch as well, you asked them, what was her deal? But have you ever dealt with infidelity in your marriage? You said that almost the first time you sat down with them once they were actual cast members, Letitia. And I think that's just something that she just has to learn may not be appropriate. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, when it comes down to conversation she had with Trisha, I don't think she was being inappropriate. But I do know that there are times that she can be inappropriate. And I'm just being fair. I'm not calling anybody. I'm just being fair. I believe Tisha just is going to have to learn that she cannot sit down and tell these people that she ain't dealt with X, Y, and Z, but they have. And somehow or another, my life is super perfect because that's the way it comes off. You know what I mean? Did I lose ButterFlii? Or did she lose me? Somebody's lost.
Yeah, I went on mute. I pressed the wrong thing. Hey, LaShonda, welcome. Yeah, I can agree with that. They all have had messy moments when it comes to the relationship. None of them are exempt. I can agree with you on that, LaShonda. Welcome, by the way. I don't think I've ever seen you
welcome in the
before,
chat. Welcome LaShonda to the chat. Hey, Sparkles. Y'all welcome LaShonda.
Sparkle, boo.
Welcome. Put it in the chat. It's spam
Look
around.
at Sparkle coming in, being Sparkle. Talk about the queen of love and Mary Huntsville, girl. Sparkle, you gonna get them people mad, girl. Sparkle gonna get them people mad.
They gonna really talk about it tomorrow.
Okay. Right, Michelle. So that's why I didn't have a problem with her saying that. I think people took it personal when she said that, she didn't experience it. And I don't understand why it was taken so personal. She was speaking of her experience in her marriage. And it's unfortunate because ever since she's made that statement, they've been hell-bent on proving that this man cheats on her. Even now, to this day, they still talk about this. Even with the conversation they had, they still talk about, oh, he got somebody else. That's why he ready to walk out the marriage. It's just like, Lord. They just for some reason, it makes them want her to experience it. Or I don't know. I don't know. I just don't get the need they have for wanting Tisha to experience, quote unquote, infidelity in her marriage.
And
it's just weird.
I think in particular, it is because of what she said, right? Not anything in particular. I think it's because they feel like that Letitia, and it's not just Tisha. Here's the thing. I don't think it's just thank you, LaShonda. I don't think it's just from Letitia. I think that if you add the layer of Marsau and his condescending ways and behaviors and conversations to it, that's where you get where Tisha kind of sometimes takes the fall for things that Marsau says as well. You know what I'm saying? ButterFlii back over there playing with that mute button.
Lord, I sure am, girl. I don't know what, I'm saying? Absolutely, Sarah. And that's the thing that bothers me is like, they ain't found no proof. And even if he passed a lot of tests, they're gonna say he cheated on that too. I mean, even they went as far as to say some random picture of a back. Like, there's nowhere in hell. And it was a blurry picture of her back at that. You know what I'm saying? Even when they came up with the chick, who was it? Another content creator came up with some chick that sent her some DMs and they end up coming to find out the girl was calling down to the dang Credit One office and not really calling Marsau. It was just, it's just been,
And don't forget the hair lady. What was her name?
Oh yeah. Remember I told you the grease about that?
Yeah. Don't forget her.
Yeah. I forgot her name too. They ended up doing a live with her, and and the crazy thing is, somebody that was supposed to be her friend is the one that tried to throw her under the bus allegedly and tag that on. You know what I'm saying? And allegedly, apparently, they fell out after that. You know what I mean? But yeah. So and there was another woman they pulled out the cut that's a part of the AKAs. That went and left real quick. That didn't really get a lot of traction, but I remember that situation too. Homegirl's daughter had to come out and rec check real quick, and that was, yes, Alonda. Thank you, Alonda. Yeah, that's her name. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's real unfortunate. So
Very.
yeah, they continue to talk. You think their issue started because of their husbands? So what do you mean? You think what do you mean it started because of their husbands?
I kind of think I agree with that too, LaShonda. I do. Martell
Well,
Maurice, Marsol and Martell were all. Remember, they are the ones. They started going at it hard in the
they
like.
did.
That's where Team
Yeah.
Hope actually popped up in there at. Remember? So
Yeah. I do remember that. Yeah, I do remember that. And but to me that was still new, so I don't think they figured out how the confessionals work. But where is where they lost me at, right? Because they would sit in their confessionals and make slick comments too, and I didn't see the rest of the cast members really taking it personal the way that Martell, and I don't even really think Martell really took it all that personal until old girl got in his ear and was wow-wowing. You see what I'm saying? Because they all talk slick in their confessionals. So I never understood why took it so personal with the things that the rest of the cast members were saying they confessional when Martell and that lady used to talk slick in their confessionals.
Well, and that
You
lady,
know,
she actually put a lot of the wheels in motion when it comes down to the dislike and the hatred that Letitia receives. She didn't
oh
only do it,
yes,
she did it to several other cats, Destiny, Stormy, Nail at one point, Kimmy. So the list goes on and on when it comes down
right.
to the amount of hate that these people have received, even so much as calling down their jobs and doing all kinds of stuff to them. So
Right, writing letters and get products taken out for stores, stalking people down to their businesses and showing up at their house. It got real ugly. And the excuse was they was bullying her. And here's where they was talking out the both sides of their neck to me, because they claimed that she was being bullied, but in the same breath, anytime she would do something disparaging or disrespectful, oh yeah, that's right, girl, handle them, girl, get them, girl. So where was she being bullied at? Like, they try to have it both ways. And I never understood that. Because they try to make it seem like
never saw her being bullied. Never.
Me neither.
Now, one episode did I see that she was being bullied. So that totally
at all.
agree with that. Yeah.
Because remember, even like I said, when she had Tisha escorted out, Kimmy stayed.
Right.
Matter of fact, when it was discussed 1.0 against the so-called Holtz, it was just them. It was Tisha, Marceau, Martell and Maurice. I mean, old girl.
And Tisha said that after she escorted out, she was defeated. She sat out in that car and cried.
She did.
You can't say that anybody's bullying you and you're actually the bully. Stop. No.
Right. That's why I never understood that rhetoric at all. You know what I'm saying? And then to come to find out, she the one who told Tisha about the matching BMWs.
Right. And told them not to tell nobody.
Girl. So it's just a lot of stuff that make no sense. Then you don't want to come out here doxing them and just doing all this crazy stuff. Want somebody to lie about their taxes, want somebody to bring up their bankruptcy, and then turn around and made up all these excuses for why you filed for bankruptcy as if you didn't file. It was just, like I said, a lot of projecting. And that's why I couldn't even get with that whole homegirls being bullied situation. Because at the end of the day, when she was going up against Letitia, Kimmy stayed out of it. Let's not forget that Kimmy and Tisha fell out because Kimmy stayed so far out of it.
True.
They had a whole falling out behind Tisha feeling like Kimmy didn't have her back. So I never understood how they claimed that woman was getting bullied at all.
Well, I'm going to tell you one thing that they have thrown up forever was the very fact that when they did that massage at Basement Bullet's house on the outside. Remember they had those massages and the Kimmy and Letitia told her that they felt like she was bougie. I believe that's what she used as her instrument of saying that they were bullying her. I think that was the catalyst or whatever she was calling them bullying her.
Right. And what I found, I'm glad you said that because you're right. That's when the catalyst did start. And at the end of the day, it was that she was bougie and that she act like she ain't got time for nobody,
Right.
which is a pattern that we come to find out that that's a pattern that she absolutely had. And it took what 5 seasons for her to admit, oh yeah, when filming stopped, I don't answer my phone. I don't want to be bothered. I need to decompress. And that's basically, I mean, because that was a 2-part conversation. They said, we think you're bougie. You are full of yourself. I mean, she was literally sitting up there taking selfies as they was talking to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, boom, come on. You are a little self. She was a little self-absorbed. So I don't even know why she got offended by that. Because, girl, you're sitting up there as they're conversating with you, taking a selfie, literally. Had the phone up, taking a selfie. That gave self-absorbed. It really did. They're trying to have a conversation with you, and you halfway paying attention.
But the sad part is she didn't see herself that way. And that's the super sad part.
Yeah.
She felt justified in whatever she was doing. We don't got so far off the script. Let's get back to this table.
We did.
Ken going off.
Oh, yeah.
Where kids actually talking.
I mean, because it all ties into what they're dealing with now. You know what I'm saying? It does tie into what they're dealing with now. So, you know, they apologize. Martell brings that. Oh, we forgot. Kendall brought up. Because, you know, Tisha was like, well, what you've heard. And my thing is, Tisha did try to ignore it. But he kept saying it. And I get it. If you're going to say what you heard, then you might as well say what it is that you heard. So I didn't see Tisha was wrong for asking him what he heard. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But apparently you could tell Marceau was sitting up there. He was getting so mad. He wanted Letitia to leave it alone.
He was aggravated so badly. And the sad part is he was so aggravated, he took his aggressions out on his wife in front of everyone. This is why I say Marceau never protects Letitia. This is why Destiny said Marceau never protects Letitia, because he left her in a vulnerable state after they resolved everything at the table. He took her off and left her vulnerable sitting out by the campfire. But go on, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Girl, the fact that he got mad that Letitia wanted to hear, you know, they brought up the so-called the back room and the black and the orgies and all of that. I mean, he compared them to Diddy, but the orgies and all of that.
He said, I wouldn't say Diddy, but we're getting close to it. That's what I took it as. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly what he said. So, and I mean, apparently, I guess those are the rumors down to the Huntsville streets. The thing about it is, I just don't know how many rumors are really from the Huntsville streets or how many rumors that was picked up off the internet and brought to the Huntsville streets, because we know that there was a whole big campaign of a whole bunch of salacious things being put out about the other cast members. So, and that's what makes me wonder how much of it came from the Huntsville streets and how much was it came from the internet and then made it to the Huntsville streets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Because that black situation with the back room and you know what I'm saying and all of that, and you know Tisha said she didn't believe it, which she has a right to. I mean, but yeah, but Marceau got so upset that you know what's the day? Oh, you practically begging him to say it. Calm your nerve. I ain't Tisha. I ain't begging for shit. Okay, so honey, I see. What are you talking about? We're having the conversation.
Right.
Why can't I say
here's the thing is, why can't he tell me what he's talking about or what he's heard? What is the big deal, Marceau? Why do you have a problem with him telling me what he's heard?
Yep. And that's the sad part. He absolutely did, because Tisha admitted that because of all these salacious rumors and things that have happened, it did cause issues in their marriage.
Right. She said that at the table. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess I can understand why he got a little irritated, because I don't think. Yeah, they do. That's what I'm saying. That's why I was like, I don't know. I don't really necessarily believe that that's the rumors on the Huntsville streets as much as I believe that was something that was taken off of the internet and brought to the Huntsville streets. Because what I do know is the Mamma Jammers down to that Huntsville, baby, they live on the internet. All of them, the whole community.
Yes. But I'm gonna
The
say
whole
this,
community.
and I'm gonna be like Miss Dr. Hebley, I ain't taking it back. One thing I know about growing up in a rural town in the South, and I'm being very frank and very honest, is that people in those small towns, because Huntsville, although it is a bigger town in Alabama, is still rural. They actually thrive off of rumors. Literally, they'll start a rumor about anything, and that comes because I grew up leaving a big city, and I grew up in a small town where my parents retired, being their youngest kid, and I can't tell you the rumors I heard that I knew were not true. They wasn't even rumors about me, but about people that I was in close proximity to. And then sometimes they were about me. But I cannot tell you how many rumors that I've heard that were not true. And country folks spread them faster than anybody.
They
Literally.
do.
I posted
They
that one
do.
day on my Twitter, and you know what? Maurice responded. He said, "You have never." This is a true statement because country people do that. And I'll tell you why I say that. When we moved to the little town we lived in, they had a little newspaper, right? And we were used to
Mm-hmm.
get a big newspaper because we came from a big city. So my mama ordered for a subscription for the newspaper to be delivered. So they brought newspapers out to the house, and my mom would read the newspapers. Well, in their newspaper, it was a section where they would say, on Tuesday, Sally Joe went over to Miss Michael's house and they had tea. And they talked about the trees. And I'm just making up something, but this is the gist of what the paper in the article in the paper would say. And it would say, oh, and they had high tea and they enjoyed the day. And Miss Sally went home and made it home very safely. It will be article after article of gossip in the paper. So you have a small town who has thrived. And if you go back through even ancestry, and you pull up some of those old newspaper articles when we find where our ancestors lived in 1957, they were living in Polk City, Texas, or Polk City, Alabama. They'll tell you that they're found in newspaper articles where it will say Sally Joe lived at 3724 Adelia Street in Polk City, Texas. I'm telling you, I wouldn't know this, but I do research and I do a lot of ancestry work. I was doing some this weekend, and a lot of times that's where I find our loved ones on, because those newspapers were gossip sections. So when the big cities were moving out of the gossiping and moving more into the news, those country and rural areas kept the gossip going. So I guarantee the gossip runs around Alabama. I guarantee.
Oh man, I have no doubt it's running rampant in Huntsville. And I'm gonna be honest with you, my experience, because I grew up in a big city, but I spent half my family from Pittsburgh, so I spent a lot of a good time in Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh is the very same way. And it's rural. It's kind of like Southern, and a lot of the people in Pittsburgh migrated from the South, so they have a Southern mentality in Pittsburgh, and they definitely operate small town, small mind. When I just be in town visiting, I swear to God, I don't know. When I finally got my license, I'm riding around town. Now everybody familiar with my grandfather's car, so they knew when I was driving it because my grandfather drives slower than Miss Daisy. Okay, so they knew when I was in the car, and sure enough, by the time I got back to the house, oh girl, you did it. You was down here, and I heard you went through a stop sign and baby. And like I said, there is much. And Pittsburgh, especially the part with my family that is rural, is rural. So it's not like Philadelphia. First of all, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia are 4 hours apart. Philadelphia is more of a city than Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is really rural, a lot of hills, a lot of mountains, a lot of small towns. So they, like I said, they derive from the South to work in the steel mills. So a lot of them still operate with a Southern mentality, and they operate kind of like the South do.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I've seen it way too much, so I do agree that they probably do gossip a lot more than we know, and that may be where some of those rumors start from. Because, child, I have heard even when friends I went to high school with, they'll call me and be like, so and so. I'll be knowing who they talk about. I'll be like, oh, just keep the conversation flowing, and they'll tell me somebody's whole life history. and I don't even know who they talking about. Then when I hear it again from another cousin or family member, I be like,
Yep.
oh, somebody else told me that. I don't even remember who
Right.
told me, but I'm like, somebody
Right.
told me that. Oh yeah. So then you know that it's a true rumor. But sometimes you hear rumors that are totally false that there's no way they could be true. Just why.
Right. I mean,
Anyway,
even in the city though, they spread rumors in the city too. But like I said, it's totally different
right,
than
totally different.
being in a rural area like Huntsville. So that's why I said, even though Will said that's what he heard, for all we know, that could have been stuff that came off the internet and was brought to the Huntsville streets. Because,
Right.
like I said, I feel like a lot of things that they even do talk about down to the Huntsville, they get off the internet. Because
Oh
them people live on the internet.
yeah. I'm
You
sure.
best believe it. Yeah. Let
So
me see. When people have said the Scots, especially 2.0, don't show their real lives, Kimmy has said they can't address things people make up in their heads. I agree with that, Michelle.
yeah, there's nothing they can
And
do
I
about
think, yeah, and I think that was the mentality of Marceau and Maurice. They didn't really want to bring life. Even Kimmy, I think even more so than Letitia, didn't really want to put any life into the things that they was hearing. Because I think now Kimmy's finally getting wore down. I
it.
don't think it affected her as much in the beginning, but I do think it affects her more now.
But ButterFlii, can we say this honestly? Um,
Mhm.
Even though it may not have affected them, right? It may be safe to say that some of those rumors were put out about the Scots 1.0 and 2.0 from another castmate. You know what I'm saying? Just like the tax.
Right.
Remember the tax? Oh, they paid somebody to go into my taxes. How, Sway? That's not how taxes work. You see what I mean?
Right. That part. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's why I said I think for Kimmy it's more affecting her now than I think Kimmy felt solid. I don't know if something happened because now don't forget now, allegedly rumor has it word on the curve is, um last season or earlier this season, we seen that Kimmy and Maurice was going through it. And
Right.
apparently, allegedly, rumor has it word on the curve is behind the scenes. They was literally legitly going through it. Now I don't know how true that is, but I think Kimmy has finally reached her breaking point, and I think it took her a lot longer than it did Tisha, because I think Kimmy really was in love with Maurice, so she really didn't try to pay any of that no mind, even though she was a part of the rumors from the beginning too, especially when it came down to them taking trips to Atlanta and Vegas and all that nonsense came up with the big backs and all that. So, and I think even for that, Kimmy really paid that no mind. You know what I'm saying? But I think Kimmy is finally getting wore down with these rumors and stuff, and she's over it. You know?
Right. 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 And you can't blame her for it. You really
No,
can't
I
blame.
can't. You can't. Yeah, 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 yeah. And like I said, even in the beginning of the season, we see that her and Maurice was having a lot of difficulties.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah,
You know they're
yeah.
going to adjust it at the reunion too. That
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
they're
absolutely.
gonna adjust that at
Yeah,
the reunion.
because the clip we seen, I can't wait till they put out the extended trailer.
Me too.
But the clip they did show, Carlos King did say that, Maurice, you do know that you're the number one hated husband right now, and I ain't gonna lie to you. You heard what I said. I'm like, dang, Maurice seems like he's who everybody thought Maurice was. I mean, Marceau was. It's giving Maurice is really who Marceau. Everybody thought
Mhm.
Marceau was because. Maurice wasn't looking too good at the beginning of the season. I ain't gonna hold you.
At
He was
all.
looking real.
Sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
Real sketchy.
Mm-hmm. Hey, girl.
Real sketchy. And
Yeah.
unapologetic for it at that. You have a
He
man
was.
very
He
unapologetic. He actually made it,
yeah.
Kimmy's like, do what? Do what? And he didn't answer it, and then the season ended. Kind of like so we ended the half season with that, and then we end this season with Tisha sitting at a campfire crying. Child, Carlos gonna stop playing with these people in their relationships. That's what he gonna do.
Yeah,
That's
you're right, Susie. I do believe that marriage is difficult. So imagine it under a microscope. And
Ooh.
especially when you have a slew of people that are hell-bent on seeing y'all marriages fall apart. I don't know. I'm like I said, I just don't know what this fixation is with proving that these men are cheaters and X, Y, and Z. And I just don't get why is that such a vain existence in a lot of these people's existence, you know? Why it's so important to them to prove that Maurice and Marcel are cheaters. Even to this day, I don't get it with no proof at all.
Yeah.
Because I definitely don't bring that hood. I definitely don't believe that hood booger that Martell and Arion brought to the YouTube with the scheme that the Todd set up. Okay, I just don't. I just don't.
Go away from us with this.
Yeah, yes. I remember Tisha acted when they came to Houston and Marceau. Yes, with chatting with Kyra. Yep, I remember that too. Yeah, she did walk up on him like, "Okay, homie." I remember that. And when apparently Marceau and Chris Fletcher went to Atlanta, and there was some unaccounted time. Tisha really, she was in that car crying because
She been through it.
she had.
Nobody say Letitia has been through it with Marceau. He has drugged this lady through it. This woman sold her apartment complex to get Scout out of the red and get it out of Martell's hands. Am I right or am I wrong?
Nope, you're right.
Okay,
Because that's what ain't that what when allegedly this is the charge that they found when they was digging in these people background. That's one of the charges that Marceau got because they was trying to get a tenant out that property or whatever, and he ended up getting into a little jam.
I'm not really sure about that. I haven't heard
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But
Oh
I
yeah,
do
yeah. There
know
was
that the apartments were apparently owned by Letitia, and Letitia sold them. We can go a little bit further. The 27 acres. When it came down time to buy the 27 acres, Martell and the BB basement bully went down there and they put their names on the loan for the 27 acres. And you know who else went? Kimmy and Letitia. Where was Marcel and Maurice? They didn't go put their names on there for the loan. See what I'm saying? I really feel Tisha has been this marriage has taken a toll on. Just imagine someone who you take a vow with for them to protect you, to honor you, to cherish you, and now they sitting up telling you they feel alone. But you have asked them, "Hey, can you tell me, so and so said you had 20 women. Can you soothe my heart and just tell me no? I can't answer that for you, Letitia."
Right.
Fuck Marcel. And I say that with all sincerity.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna go ahead and get into where they walked away and sat down and have the conversation with themselves. I just don't get the hoopla. Everybody, oh yeah, Marceau, Tisha, she just don't listen. See, my thing is, what show have y'all been? Are we all watching the same show?
Right.
Thank you. Yep, she sold her complex to she sold her complex to get Skull out of the red, once they bought out Martell. But yeah. So girl, the reverse psychology, brown girls rock. The reverse psychology. When I tell you, Marceau has already had me pissed from the time they had that conversation about the drywall, and Marceau is definitely a gaslighter. Marceau doesn't believe he's a gaslighter, but he always turns things around. Now, he's been claiming that he feels alone, and I'm trying to think about Marceau is a confusatron because you say you don't want her to be in business, but then you say you want her to help you. What exactly are you looking for help with? Because she wants you to finish building up her office so she can pull her weight as far as the business go. But in the same breath, you're talking about, oh, I don't really want you focused on business. Oh, I've been doing this all by myself. So when Letitia said that she feel like the construction and black you have been handling, you try to make her seem like she was crazy.
That part.
Just for you to turn around and say that you feel like you've been alone. Make it make sense.
Gaslighting.
It's definitely gaslighted. So I don't even understand how Marceau don't think it was he ain't been gaslighting this lady. Dude, every time she has come to him, Tisha has been screaming for a minute now. And we know Marceau done said out his own mouth, right? And Marceau done said out his own mouth. When it comes to the family, as far as dealing with things with the kids in school and this and that, he don't want no parts of it. He didn't want no part. We watched him down there with that interview with Carlos King because that pissed me off. Oh, the school better not call me. They better be calling Tisha. And remember, I got pissed off about that because I'm like, dude, what do you mean the school should only be calling Tisha? Why should the school be only calling Tisha? Why are you not tapped in emotionally with your children? I feel like if you only leaving Tisha to deal with the kids and whatever they got going on, then you're not even tapped in emotionally. And that's what it is, because you also sat on that goddamn show when Tisha went away. I forgot what she went to. I think she had she went away to. This nigga didn't even know his son was allergic to peanuts,
right,
or whatever.
Right.
And I don't know if he was saying that to be sarcastic or if he was being for real. So at the end of the day Marceau is a confusertron. What it's given is you want Tisha to go back in the house and be a housewife. You know what I'm saying? You really don't want her to do business because you would have been finished her business. And when Letitia did try to help you with the business, you brought in a whole nother dude. What even happened to that dude? Y'all remember homeboy that he brought in? And Tisha was like, oh, I thought that was my desk. Marceau has been making decisions without even checking in with Letitia, but somehow he feels like Letitia needs to check in with him with every decision she makes. I think that should be a two-way street. Am I tripping? I'm sorry, Lady Ro, you're a married woman. Am I tripping?
No, you ain't tripping. You telling it like it is, honey. You telling it like it is.
Marceau is selfish and he's self-centered. And for a minute, if you don't think he ain't selfish and self-centered, I mean, I can't believe all these people talk about, oh yeah, that was real deep. Oh yeah, Marceau and Tisha still ain't listening. Okay, well, neither one of them listening. Because Tisha been complaining about stuff that she ain't happy about. And it's been going over Marceau's head. And what's crazy about it is Marceau thinking that bringing a paycheck home to his family is all he needs to do. And it's evident that he got it from his father, because his father sat down in his face and told him, listen, one thing I regret is thinking that the only thing I had to do was bring a paycheck home and not be there for y'all. Y'all remember that scene that Marceau had with his family? Not this year when they went to Detroit, but when the father came to town to visit. Mm-hmm. And he told Marceau, listen, don't let being there for your family, thinking that the only thing you need to bring home is a paycheck. That's the one mistake I made with y'all. And that still went over Marceau's head. That still went over Marceau's head because he's sitting in Tisha's face talking about, oh, I'm doing everything you want me to do. It's called a balancing act. You could bring the breadwinner, but when Tisha try to take the load off of you, asking you to get her office finished, you want to procrastinate. And then you want to make it seem like finishing her office and her getting to be able to sell real estate and do real estate is only benefiting her. That doesn't even make no sense. If you're working for the family, who the hell is she working for?
That's right. Scott Realty has your name on it. The name you want it back, remember? Remember that? Scott Realty. It don't even say Letitia Realty. It says Scott Realty. So at the end of the day, all the money going into the pot. From my understanding, Tisha is supposed to own the majority share of Scolt. Am I correct? So how can you afford to buy her out if she's the boss? I'm gonna tell you something. He gaslit her so much on Saturday night. The one thing every time he would say something, she would debunk it. Tisha said, he asked her, he said, what can I do to buy you out? And Letitia said, she started trying to explain, said, what makes the company, I'm sorry, Tisha, what do you do at the company that makes its value so high? And Letitia began to start trying to explain in her soft voice. She was like, well, I'm not as involved as I used to be. When, the beginning of the company, I tried to be involved and I tried to help and to build it and I did help build it to where it is today. And, but then you have your team, you're kind of pushing me out. And every time I try to ask you, can I do something? You say, well, such and such is going to do it, or such and such is going to do it. Marceau had one concern, and that was that she was supposed to be coming to a meeting, but instead she had a PTA meeting. And if I know men the way I know men, that probably happened one time. One time he's dangling over her head as though it happened a gazillion times. But if my memory serves me correctly, Letitia is the one who got him the contract to build the hotel that was under scope.
He did. That was her. She's the one who closed the deal.
All right.
Right.
I was just wondering if I was
right. Like she said, in the beginning, I was there to help you build it up. When we had the children, it's given when we decided it would be best if I was more of a stay-at-home mom. And I do think Tisha wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. Now, from my understanding, she was working in the beginning, but she wanted to focus on the kids. And it's, if that was okay with you, now why are you complaining that you're doing all the work by yourself? And then when she tries to hop out of the stay-at-home mom era because the kids are now in school, they're getting older, she has more leg room to do more with the business, you didn't tell her you don't want her help with the business. Like I said, she come in, and this is the thing that pissed me off. She come in thinking this is her desk, and you have a whole nother Negro sitting at her desk. And you didn't even tell her. She had to walk in the office and see the Negro sitting at her desk.
Right, who are you?
Marceau is crazy.
Insane.
And what I feel like he wants, he don't want the teacher that is finding herself. What I'm really proud about and with Letitia is I feel like this year she is finding herself. This year she is speaking up more, although Marceau is still able to shut her down and be very condescending towards her and talk at her, like she said, because that's what he's been doing, talking at her, not with her or to her, but talking at her, which is correct. Marceau doesn't want Letitia to come into that awareness that she is coming into. He wants it to be Letitia still do whatever he say do. Marceau is having a hard time with the fact that he is not going to be, Letitia is finding her own, and he really don't want her to find her own. That's what it's giving me. I don't know. I could be tripping, but it's giving me that Marceau want her Marceau want her dummied up, barefoot, pregnant in the crib. Not literally barefoot, pregnant in the crib, because I'm quite sure they ain't ready. They don't want no more kids. But you get what I'm saying.
But here's the next thing too. Think about it like this. Letitia's children are getting older, right? I think the oldest daughter is going into high school this coming up year, and then the baby girl moving on up the ladder as well, right on behind her. So as your children begin to get older, they don't need you as much. When they're little, they need you a lot. Oldest is going to college. So my thing is when your kids actually start getting older and moving on out of the house, I had the revelation. That's how I know that she probably is doing the same thing. I remember when my first one went to college, because all of my children are 3 years apart, I was thinking I literally have 6 more years and my baby will be graduating from high school. That's literally what I thought. And I remember sitting there thinking, what am I going to do when this kid graduates? I'm going to have to get to know this man that I live with. Because, Chad, I have spent my identity for the last so-and-so years trying to raise these kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
So and Susie, the thing is, he can say that. He can say that. But in the interim, why can't she say that? Because when she says it, people post, oh, she's spoiled. Oh, she's selfish. She's this, she's that. But she's been saying this. And if I ask you to tell me that you ain't seeing 20 women's by damn, I want you to tell me that. Because that may be a security blanket for me. Whereas he did. Right. I can't tell you that. Now you have left me unprotected. Part of that is being a husband. That's what part of that is. Part of that is being a husband. And you are not operating in your role as a husband if you run it up and you're not protecting your wife. You let Martell talk all up under Tisha's dress. Oh, the back seat of a Buick. And you were sitting right there behind her. And you want me
to went on your face.
First of all, I'll never have sympathy for a man who literally gets on this TV, disrespects his wife, and this same wife always got his back. I'll never protect. I'll never.
Man, the way Letitia got his back, baby, it don't make no bit of sense. Y'all know I went off. Now, if y'all my members, y'all see my video, because I clean went off on Marceau. Marceau has never stood up and stood his ground for Letitia. And I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. As much as I don't want to agree with these hoes, they was right about one thing. I done seen him speak up for another person more than he's ever spoke up for Letitia. He's always trying to reprimand Letitia, check Letitia, keep her in check, like said, as if she's his child rather than his wife. But when it came to speaking up for somebody else that he didn't really had no business speaking up for and should not have been speaking up for, he jumped to speak up for. That is a fact. And this is another reason why she gets dragged. This is another reason why people are still running around talking about you want that other woman. Because you have stuck up for that other woman more than you ever stuck up for your wife on this show. On this show. But then you want to sit around and tell her that she carrying your name and she need to watch her behavior while you get to run around and do whatever the hell you want to do? Make it make sense. And then if you feel so alone, and Tisha told you she felt alone, you clearly have left Tisha to be a housewife and only handle the things in the house and the kids, and you haven't been there to help her with that. She sat there and told you, this is what I'm talking about with Marceau and the way he operate, right? He don't check in with Letitia. Letitia said, listen, you remember you told me to make a list. I made a list. And on the list, I put that Rome was something I wanted to do as a family. Marceau took it upon himself to want to take MJ. Let's clear that up too, because everybody talk about he went to Rome again on another trip like he did Africa. No, it wasn't the same. He took his son to Rome. And I highly doubt this Negro would bring another woman to Rome while he got his son there. That don't make no sense. So can we just kill that nonsense? But at the end of the day, what he did was what he always do. He don't check in with Tisha about no decision he making. He went ahead and bought them tickets and told Tisha after he bought them. How much you want to bet that that's how that went down?
I totally agree with you 100%. Hey, Miss Mary.
So here's where Marceau pisses me off. He don't got to check in with Tisha, but Tisha need to check in with him. That's selfish. And it's self-centered. Even if you're the head of the household, I don't even got a problem if you want to go the old school route and you the head of the household. But I thought even back in the day when the man was the head of the household, they still checked in with their wife. They ultimately made the ultimate decision, but they still checked in with how their wife felt before they made the ultimate decision. Marceau don't check in with Tisha about a darn thing. So for him to sit up in her face, talk about, oh, I feel alone and you don't do this and you da-da-da. Nigga, what are you talking about? You treat Tisha like she your child. You don't check in with her on no decisions that you make.
And here's the next thing.
What was like Letitia? I said, I feel like you bought them tickets to Rome for you and MJ behind Letitia's back.
I agree with that. But where was Letitia when he was running to the Chick-fil-A to meet up with Basement Bully? What her and her husband was going through. I'm telling you, this man has never protected Letitia. Never.
Nope.
Never protected.
Okay, living for me. That's what I thought. I thought that's how that went. Like I said, I don't have a problem with a man running the household, but by golly be God, I be damned if we don't sit down as husband and wife and make decisions together, even though if we ultimately go with how you want to do things, you still get my input and how I feel. Marceau does not do that with Letitia, and it's evident that he doesn't.
Right?
It's very evident that he doesn't do that with Tisha. He makes decisions and then he tell her later. He don't even give her a heads up. Okay, this is a decision I made.
Right, because God gave her a smart husband. and it's only for the smart husband to give her all the information. She don't have no information. Just the smart
She don't have none. She ain't got diddly squat information. Cool. Like I said, Marceau wants an ultimately submissive woman that he can dumb down. Because at the end of the day, he definitely has dumbed Letitia down. He's dumbed Letitia down. I believe the way that Marceau comes off to Letitia, it has halted her in speaking up. And she admitted that when she was sitting down talking with Kimmy. She says that he gets me to the point where I just don't even want to say nothing. And we've watched how he talks to her. Very condescending, very like, girl, what do you do? Like she is slow or something.
Right.
And Tisha conformed to that because I believe that she thought she was doing the right thing. But I think she's waking up and figuring out, no, that ain't necessarily the right thing, homie. Even when the bottle of wine, remember the bottle of wine situation came up when they dropped the chocolate and he took it upon himself to go drop somebody else a bottle of wine and didn't even tell Letitia.
Right. She has to accept all that on the chin. And keep on.
She has to accept all that on the chin and keep it moving and be proud that you bring a paycheck home. Negro.
Right. That's right.
Marceau is a very chauvinistic egotistical, selfish person. Now, I'm sorry, he's very selfish. You can hard work for your family all you want, but the decisions that you make when it comes down to your family, you're not checking in with your wife. So to turn around and then try to turn it on her, making it seem like she's all over the place and you don't know what she's doing. No, you're becoming uncomfortable because she is finding her voice. You can no longer just shut her down, tell her what you want, and she don't have no say so. That's what you're getting uncomfortable with. That you're not feeling lonely. That's a bunch of crock. How could you feel lonely when you don't even want her working with you? That don't even make no sense. That's a bunch of crock. You're getting upset and you're not knowing what to do because Letitia is finding herself and she's finding her voice. Something that she obviously hasn't had for a huge part of this marriage.
Let's say this. Let's say that he is lonely. Let's just say that he feels alone. Because he said he's not lonely. He said he felt alone, but he wasn't lonely. He tried to make there a difference. So let's say that he just feels alone. Let's say that all of that is true. And he has every right to feel alone. But you're expecting the same person who you say is you're feeling alone while being a part of to comfort you, and she also has told you she felt alone as well. Not only that, you've also left this person out almost to fend for themselves, almost to either sink or swim. Never that arm to reach out and pull her in. Never that comfort that she needed when the tears started to fall. Always belittling her in front of the crowd, the group. Always, oh, you shouldn't say this. You shouldn't. Everything she says, he has to correct it or he has to give her leadership and guidance. I'm going to tell you something. Those Scott men proved when they sat down on this episode together and talked that these two have an alliance, Marcel and Maurice. Because I took a bunch of notes, honey. When I say I took notes on this, I got 6 pages worth of notes. When Maurice and Marcel sat down, Maurice said he wanted to talk to Marcel said he wanted to talk to Maurice because Maurice knew better. Here's what he said. Marcel said the dinner conversation went left. Maurice is a Scot, and as a Scot man, we know we hold this thing dearly that we have to outthink our opponents, not outtalk them, outthink them. Marcel said he thinks it would be handy to remind Maurice who they are and what they stand for, just not the Scott brand. You can't tell me that these two think that they're better than everybody, the masses. That's the reason why he said that Letitia them came from the other side of the tracks. The Scots think they are far better than anybody else. They better than Martell. That's why he couldn't stand the very fact that Martell was out here moving the way he was. That they was considered the couple of the year or whatever they were doing in Alabama. Marceau had an issue with that. That's why him and Martell kept butting heads. That's why they kept butting heads. Because the Scots think they are far better than everybody else.
I would have to agree with you with that. And I definitely agree. That's why he made the comment about the other side of the tracks. And see, he was able to get away with that because he didn't grow up in Huntsville. He grew up in Detroit. Come to find out, he grew up on the other side of the tracks too. So that was definitely ignorant and arrogant of him to say. Mm-hmm. And that's another way that he left Tisha out there to dry. Mm-hmm. Because Tisha told him right then and there in that scene, when you say things like that to me, that reminds me of how I was being bullied and picked on.
I agree.
It took Marceau until last year when they had that AACP situation for him to apologize for making that comment. It took you 5 years to apologize for that comment? 5 years. Let's just be clear. Mm-hmm. That's crazy work. Just to come to find out your mother's locking chains on the refrigerators. You barely had food. You barely had clothes. Y'all didn't have nobody. Your daddy was in jail. It sounds like you came from the other side of the tracks down into the good old D to me too. So what in your mind made you even say that comment? Because, like you said, Lady Ro, they do have this air about they better than.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This is what those words I just read to you is what he said on the episode this past week. That he needed to remind Maurice that he was a Scot. And that Scot men, they outthink their opponent. They don't out-talk them. When I tell you these men have an arrogance about them that is so disgusting, but this is someone who's alone. He feels alone. You deserve to be alone because you don't know how to treat people.
He doesn't know how to treat people. He doesn't. Because like I said, that even that whole situation down there to that game day, Marceau lit that match. Because you know gat darn well that man wasn't doing no revenge pee on that woman. And so for you to sit up in that man's face and play that role, you lit that match.
Yeah.
You lit it and then you left your wife vulnerable. Mm-hmm. Because guess who he started attacking? Your wife.
Your wife.
So Marceau definitely has a way about him, and he definitely knows how to get under people's skin. And I just find it, like I said, I just find the way he treats Letitia and Lee just leaves her out there to be real heartbroken. And Letitia just steady, just it gives me that she's still trying to prove to this man how much she love him, all in the while when this man really know how much she love him, because she done put up with a lot of stuff that we done seen all the couples say that they wouldn't put up with from Marceau, including Kimmy. Maurice done stuck up for Letitia more than Marceau has.
Right. You know what my mom used to say? She said, when you get sick and tired, ain't nobody gonna have to tell you to leave. You'll leave all your stuff behind to get rid, to move on with your life. You will. When you truly get sick and tired. I ain't trying to tell Tisha to leave, but how much longer you gonna stay there and let this man treat you like this? Talk to you like this without there being some type of resolve or therapy involved.
Other thing that pissed me off, because when Letitia tried to get them to go to therapy, he didn't want to go to therapy. And that's my other thing. These men think they don't need therapy, and they definitely need therapy. Maurice, when he sat in that therapy session and finally spoke, opened up, because he didn't want to do it at first neither, but he finally opened up. For whatever reason, they still operate in this mindset that they don't need therapy. They, like you said, they can figure it out. They Scotsmen. Wow. Obviously, you can't figure it all out, and you need therapy because y'all communication is off. Y'all are both saying the same thing that y'all want from each other, and Tisha ain't hearing you. You ain't hearing Tisha. It's a two-way street. Y'all ain't hearing each other. So why not go to therapy and try to figure that out and get that in order? You went from wearing your ring to back not wearing your ring. Like you it's just a lot of things that you do is just disrespectful. You wore your ring for 5 minutes and now it's back off your finger. Ain't that much construction work did you do in the world that you couldn't even put that on a chain and tuck it in your shirt if you ain't gonna have it on your finger? That's diabolical.
Very much.
It's diabolical. And like I said, I just don't. I guess you know you're not a. What you say? He say he's not lonely, but he feels alone.
He said he feels alone. He's not lonely. That's a big difference.
Yeah, you feel alone because Letitia is no longer being your little fetching dog. That's what you feel alone about. You can't no longer just say whatever you want to say to her, do whatever you want to do, and she not speak up. And then when she speaks up, you're not hearing her. You walk out. You literally walk out on her. And I think
instead of having a decent conversation, he stands up and he says, fuck it. And Letitia say, fuck it then.
Right. Come on. No, I don't want to come with you. Then you want to try to be nice and wipe the little white thing off her forehead. A lot of people think he tapped on her head. He didn't tap on her head. I don't know if y'all noticed, but they both had stuff all over their head. I don't know if it came from the trees or whatever. Marceau had that white stuff on his head too. But Letitia had a dead smack in the middle of her forehead. That's what he was wiping off. And I find that kind of, I found that condescending. You just told me fuck it and all this, and now you want to be nice and wipe something off my head. Man, get the fuck. And I think Marceau does that a lot to Tisha.
Yeah. Yeah. But just imagine you just had a great night. You go to have a conversation with your husband and you end the night crying. So much is so that she says, I don't even want to be here anymore. You're at a retreat.
Right.
You're supposed to be relaxing, releasing, and being revived, and you got somebody laying some heavy mess on you, right? And he says,
Right.
"Oh, I need a wife that's going to listen to me when I'm trying to talk." Why did God give you a smart husband if you're not going to listen to him? He keeps saying,
Basically, and that's his mindset.
"Yeah, you
And
keep saying."
I'm trying to figure out at what point that Tisha has not listened to you. Because that's all she's ever done
She
is
listened
listen
too
to you.
much for me.
And I'm not saying that she shouldn't listen to you, but like I said, you should be listening to her input too and taking into accountability how she feel. Marceau is, like I said, selfish. He want Letitia to take into accountability how he feel, but he really ain't breaking down why he feel alone. Because that was a legit question Letitia asked. You're being a confusion right now. Because when I did try to, you know what I'm saying, what is it that you feel alone in? Exactly. That's what I needed him to break down. What do you feel alone in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this show anger. Because she was like, what do you know, yeah, you're right, Susie. Her face did show anger. And then, like I said, as he kept going, it just turned into hurt.
Right.
Because I think she was in disbelief. You're really sitting up here talking about you feel alone. What are you talking about? And then you give an example of me bringing you lunch. I've always brought you lunch at work.
Mm-hmm.
Why you can't take me out and celebrate me as your wife?
That part.
I'm always thinking of something to do to keep the love going in our relationship so you don't feel alone. And you're always shutting it down.
And if
And
you
that's
know,
basically what Tisha was saying.
he also said in there, he says, um, he made a comment about her always talking about other people's relationships, right? And in the meantime, or in the interim time, her husband's at home hurting. Did y'all hear that?
Yes, I did. And that's another thing. You feed into the shit. Oh, oof.
I'm trying to find it in my notes so I can read his exact words.
He
Um,
did say that.
he
But
said,
yeah,
"You
he
always,"
definitely said that.
he said that while I'm going and telling people about what they should do in their marriage, my man is
Right.
begging for help. My man is begging me to listen to him. I won't even listen to the man who has dedicated his life to me. I want you to know that because that is exactly how I feel."
And I'm trying to figure out what he think Letitia did. What she been dedicating her life to. That was just the most selfishest, pig-headed thing you could have said. Because where has she been? Has she dedicated her life to? I mean, you have really made a fool out of this woman on national TV.
Say it again.
So, what exactly are you looking like? What are you feeling alone in? I really need him to. I hope Carlos King asked him that at the reunion. What do you What did you mean by you feel alone?
Carlos ain't gonna ask him that.
Right. Right, bad girl, Riri. And that's my thing. The same way he feel at work, which I don't even understand how could you feel like that in business when she tried to help with business and you pushed her out. So what exactly do you need her? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I need layman's, I need you to break it down bit by bit. What exactly do you need her to help you with? Because she helped you raise them kids. She helped you get the business started. And that's the whole point of her wanting something for herself. The same way you claiming that Black and Scope, you do most of the work for, right? And in the same breath, you talking about you feel alone. When she try to come in and help you with it, you don't want her help. Like, Marceau is, oof, he's a piece of work.
He never gave her a complete answer on what he wanted. What he wanted. What was it that he wanted from her? He felt alone, but what was it that she needed to do to make him not feel alone? I really
Now,
feel like.
Mary,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Miss Wilson, what girlfriend? Miss Wilson, you got the proof of the girlfriend? What girlfriend? Miss Mary, can you please get you do you got the proof? Can you DM it to me? Where is this girlfriend y'all keep wanting this man to have? I'm just saying, Miss Mary. I don't know.
It sounds plausible, but there's no factual evidence to back it up.
Oh, I see. Oh,
Oh, sorry.
okay. Oh, okay. Okay. It's your opinion. Okay, Miss Mary. Got you, baby. You know what? I would hate for her to be another Tina.
Uh-oh. Really? You would
And
think
I
that?
really think she would. I really think she would be devastated. And a lot of people, I've read a lot of the comments feel like that. And even because I want to show you a comment that there's one guy that apparently he felt like what Marceau said was so powerful, and this is why he walked away from his marriage. That man got 8,000 likes on that nonsense. Because it wasn't nothing powerful about what Marceau said. It was gaslighting, it was disrespectful, and it was what's the other word I'm looking for? Selfish.
Egregious.
Because at the end of the day, you're not exactly telling her what you feel alone in.
Right.
You want her to play the guessing game. Oh, why you can't bring me lunch? We done did that. She trying to move it along. Can we move it to a new phase? Why you can't take me out on a date?
Right.
Why is that so hard for you?
So hard. Come on now. Why is that so hard?
They don't make you want me to just stop doing what I gotta do, and then when it ain't, that's an excuse. That's a lame excuse.
According to the people, you ain't completing no project no way. Right?
Right.
According to the people.
He definitely is the king of word salad. Bad girl Riri. He definitely is the king of word salad. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't necessarily, and I think the fact that a lot of people think that Letitia ain't quick with it, I don't think that's at all what it is. I think that Marceau has done a number on Letitia as far as making her feel insecure and gaslighting her so much that she second guesses herself. I mean, they've been married for 19 years. And unfortunately, it wasn't just the Holtz talking crazy about how Marceau treats Tisha. Kimmy and Maurice has also spoken up on how they think Marceau treats Tisha. Yeah, he does need a reason because he would look crazy because Tisha ain't been nothing but loyal to that man.
Right.
She ain't been nothing but loyal to that man. Been through the ringer with that man, been put through the ring. That's why I told y'all I started to feel like he was getting a hard on by the disrespect that she would be getting online, because then it would make it seem like she needed him more. I think, I don't know, it's just something weird about how he would show up each season giving them stuff to rag and tag her and drag her about online. So I felt like he was getting a hard on from watching her getting tore down like that. So he can look like the savior. That's what it was giving me. Because there's a lot of ammunition that these people got online to use against her from him. It wasn't just, you know what I'm saying, certain entities that was playing roles. Marceau played a big role in that too. A huge role. And the fact that he was so stubborn, even down to when she wanted to renew the vow. Oh, I don't want to do it.
And he didn't do it either, did he?
Nope. No, he didn't. And that's something Letitia tried to surprise him with, and he just pooped all over it in front of everybody. Once again, I think he gets a hard on from embarrassing her in front of people too. It's just something about him. He thrives off of that nonsense. That's what it's given. I don't know that to be fact. I'm just giving off of what this man done showed us on this goddamn show.
Right.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But okay, Miss Mary said every new vow was it for me, girl.
Me too,
Baby.
I would have walked away then. In fact, I'm gonna tell you this: when he started yelling at her at the table about the Ken situation, when he was like, "You keep saying what he do? Tell me what he do, what he do." I would have hit the table and stood up and said, "You know what? I've had enough. I want out of this marriage." And I would walk because all next season he'd be kissing my ass if I was Letitia. All next season, I would have him on a tightrope, and everywhere I go, I would turn around and bump into him. That's how close he would be on me. Because I would have called his bluff on his bull crap. Let me call your bluff.
Right. And I think Marcel wouldn't know what to do because I'm gonna keep going back to when he thought Letitia thought she was really pregnant. Marcel, you know how you gotta sit still so you don't. Marcel, when he laid up in that bed, Marcel was really trying to keep his composure. Okay, that man was about to lose it. He was about to lose it. So Marcel definitely wouldn't know what to do if Tisha didn't have the stuff that he did to her to him. He wouldn't be able to handle it. And I think they have this sense. I really believe they have this false sense of what manhood is. And I don't think they got a lot of it from their father. Their father admitted that the man worked more than he was ever there. So I think they just came up with these own ideas and they had what they think a man should be. That I don't see them getting it from their father because apparently he wasn't around enough. The father admitted it. So it is what it is. Okay. Then we find out this year that he was away in jail. Nobody knew that. They never talked about that. While you talk about somebody else being from the other side of the tracks, never brought up the fact that y'all made it seem like he was always going on the road to work.
He was at work, I right on that chain gang.
That part. So I don't know where they get their sense of manhood and how a house. I mean, I think like I said, part of it come from the father because Marcel operate how the father operate as far as thinking all he need to do is bring home a paycheck and the wife take care of everything else. And all I got to do is bring you the money. I don't got to be tapped in emotionally. I don't got to be there for the kids emotionally. They just got to know daddy love them. Daddy going to work. I'm going to make sure you got money for college. And that's like, it's like Marcel didn't even want to be emotionally available for his children. That's what it gave me. And that's what threw me. That's when I was through. When homeboys out there said, oh, the school better not call me. That threw me. That totally threw me.
Right.
Why when it comes to your son, why shouldn't the school be able to call you? So let me get this right. Who is MJ supposed to get his manhood from? So you're showing MJ that all you got to do is bring a check home and you don't really got to be tapped into your family. Just bring the check home and then you just go off, run the streets all night long and party and hang out with your brother and do everything else. But you ain't got to be tapped in with your family just because you bring the check home. Is that what you showing MJ? But we know MJ ain't going for it because he sat right at that table and said, I would never treat my wife the way you treat my mother.
Yep, that's what he said.
MJ said, I would never, be very clear. MJ said, I would never treat my wife how you treat my mother. So apparently, allegedly, there was some emotional unavailability that man had for his children because he think a check is going to bring that to them. I don't know why he think the money is going to make up for the emotional stability that them children need. It's real weird. Like I said, I don't know where they got their sense of manhood from. It's just weird. Yeah, he protected his mother at that table. He sure did. MJ sure did protect his mother. That's exactly. I didn't know. Okay, I didn't know everyone said that, but that's what I'm telling you. When that man thought she was pregnant by somebody else, I'm telling you, the way Marcel had to lay in that bed real quick to gather himself. That's why he didn't even remember. Maurice went out there. He was like, nah. Yo, when I tell you, you could tell that man was about to explode because he know he had a vasectomy. So in his mind is if he is pregnant, that can't be my baby, and we have a problem, Houston. Baby, I'm telling you, I seen it. I seen it building up in him.
All she needs to do is call his bluff one good time. Hit that table a couple of times and make him think you really stole Cone crazy. Tell him, this it. I can't take no more. You go your way, I'm gonna go my way. But I'm not.
And I think they did have that moment. I think they did almost walk away from the marriage. They didn't share it so much on the show, but remember last season when they was they at the ring shop getting his new ring? And even when him and Maurice went over there to talk to Martel, and Marceau said, "No, you're wrong," because me and my wife was just about to call it quits. Because I think that's how serious they got for them behind the scenes.
Yeah, because he thinks he's smarter than she is. He's the Lord bless. Why would the Lord bless you with this smart man if you wasn't gonna listen to him, Tisha?
Right. So basically, I don't need you to use your mind in no capacity other than to cater to my needs. That's what that was given. Just use your mind to cater to my needs, and that's it. Oh, I let you go get I let you go get your master's. Let who go do what?
Come on.
You let me.
What year was that?
Girl, you let me go get my master's. You let me go. What? Marceau definitely operates like Letitia's his child and not his wife. Cause I wish a nigga would tell me he let me. No. I that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I was gonna do. Crazy ass. Marceau crazy. Marceau is crazy. So I guess Martel think he got Kimmy to admit that cheating wouldn't be a deal breaker.
She kind of did, didn't she? When you believe, when you take that from that, at least I did.
Yeah, and I think that she's what they've been married 7 years now.
Yeah, I think they just made 7.
So I think in the beginning she was thinking it would be a deal breaker, but then I think going in 17 years in, she's like, yeah, no, I don't know if I would really be willing to give up on my marriage that quick. Which there's a lot of women that stayed around and worked through the infidelity, or just I don't know, Buttercups. I don't know one way or another, to be honest with you.
But you know what she did? She said she's noticed after Martel's divorce, she acknowledged Martel because she put her hand up. She said what the children had to go through, and Martel was shaking his head. Yeah, because it's a lot for a family to go through, and I think that you don't know how you'll deal with it until you actually are sitting in the situation. I'm just
right.
Yeah, I think that's a fair call for everybody, all the parties involved, that you don't really know what it looks like until you actually are in the middle of it.
Right.
But I would say
listen, Miss Mary, you ain't lying about that, okay? He would not have asked me for that name. Now, baby, like I said, the way I would have rolled that up on a silver platter and told you to go on about your business.
Because baby, statistics tell me, and I run back to the statistics, that the legacy lies within the matriarchal part of the family anyway. So, child, I would have rubbed that back in his face real hard. This got me in a
right. Yeah, baby, like I told you, I don't know what type of men they got their advice from, but it's very given. Yeah, nah. Listen, brown girls rock. I already told y'all between the show and that baby, and I even think with the baby she would have stayed, because that wasn't. God bless Maverick, but that wasn't the first time she was pregnant. That was just the first baby she kept.
Right.
Let's just keep that a buck.
But
that was not the first time she was pregnant. That was just the one baby she kept.
But let's back up on that too. It was something that was continuous. She was not okay with him cheating, so he was never going to cheat in peace. And the only thing she could do was walk away, because it was never going to stop. And she realized that.
Oh, nah, she was willing to let him cheat in peace. Like I said, she was willing to let him cheat in peace because I feel like she felt she cared more about keeping that image that she had going on. Like I said, between the show and because remember, Destiny told you the advice that she was giving. Oh, go ahead. The people will support you. You'll get all type of sympathy, X, Y, and Z. That girl, even with that baby, she would have stayed. I'm sorry. Especially if she was I mean, they all said they was sister wife, and even Destiny. And I
But the
absolutely
reason
believe
why I
that.
say
Arion even said that they used to
she
sit and
wouldn't
have hour-long
stay,
conversations.
the reason why I
Huh?
said she wouldn't stay is because she was gone before the show started. She went back, right? Then
Oh, yeah.
did not
Okay, I
stop.
see what you're saying.
That marriage was going to eventually end in divorce. Period. It was.
Yeah.
Regardless of what we think, that marriage was definitely not going to continue. She was there. She left. She went back for the show. She went back with all the wrong pretenses. She was that marriage was doomed. It was doomed because he wasn't going to give up his side piece. So the only thing she could do was leave. She had no other
Right.
choice.
Yeah. I forgot. But that even that was a well, no, no, they said that she actually went and got another apartment and everything.
She was gone. She
And
said
she
she was
started
gone.
other relationships. She had other relationships, even though she
Right.
tried to dumb it down. But yeah, she was dating too.
Yeah, and that's okay. Because she said
Yeah,
she
it's okay. They decided they separated. Yeah, they
thought it was
separated.
over. She said she had already made up her mind she wasn't gonna go back. But my thing is that relationship without him, Martell stopping his other relationship, their marriage was doomed. It wasn't gonna last. That's just it. Because she wasn't content to have a sister wife. Regardless of what Destiny says, Mel was never content for that to be her story. She wasn't. That's why she left originally. I'm telling you, it was never gonna work. And it's unfortunate, but Martell did that to himself. He has nobody to blame but Martell. Because guess what? If you really wanted your marriage and you knew that sleeping around was a deal breaker, you know what you should have done? Stop sleeping around. But you was letting that little head lead you. And guess what? You're not even with the one you were sleeping around with. Not now. So anyway.
I don't even know if it was the little head. I really think that man fell in love with Arion.
I think so too.
And he became confused. I really think he fell in love with her.
I think he still loves her because even on this trip he talked about her not being there and how much he loved her.
Yeah. I don't know. Because I think he would marry her and move on with her. But I think what's holding him back is the backlash. I think he don't want to deal with the backlash.
He promised Basement Bully he would never marry her too. He did promise her that.
Well, I guess it'll be broken when she finally go ahead and get remarried then, huh?
Isn't it crazy that both of them are holding out?
Girl. I guess listen, would you say not true? What's not true, Miss Mary? Oh, you don't think Martell won't still marry her or once homegirl get remarried? I don't know, Barry. He might, Martell is impulsive. Okay. So his impulse might be to go ahead and marry her. Yeah. Yeah, Mary. I don't know. Well, allegedly, I don't know if y'all heard this, but allegedly, rumor has it word on the curve is they are actually married. They went to the justice of the peace. They just keeping it on the low. I don't know how true that is, Buttercups. Don't get me the line. There ain't no record. Ain't nobody been ever put up no marriage license, but they did spread that rumor that they actually did get married. That they said they went to Ohio to get married, where Arion's originally from. I don't know how true that is, though, Buttercups. That's just rumors. We ain't gonna feed too much into it. Take that with a grain of salt. But they did say that they went and got married in Ohio. Number one, Buttercup, I absolutely don't, but I don't believe he was in love with her no more neither. I think he wanted to keep the unit together for the children. And I think that was his main thing. He wanted to be a family unit for his children unlike the family unit that he had. Now, I do believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that he was in love with her no more. I do believe that he still loved her because they had built a family together. They had built something together. But I don't think it was in love neither. I think he is always going to love her, but I don't think it's an in love situation either, because if it was an in love situation, he definitely would have been able to walk away from Arion. So yeah, I see what you're saying. I don't feel he was in love. I do believe that he still loved her though. Right, number one, Buttercup. That's why I said for him, I really think it was about keeping it together for the children. And not so much because he really wanted to be in that marriage. I don't know. Did I show y'all the screenshots of all the things he complained about, right? So it kind of like, yeah, like you said, Lady Ro, it was kind of doomed.
Oh yeah, their relationship was definitely doomed. Definitely. Even if they tried it, they did try it. She had the baby, but she already.
Mary, I don't remember him wanting her to leave Huntsville. I thought she wanted to leave Huntsville. She wanted to move to Atlanta. Oh, I don't remember that, Mary. I do not remember Martell telling her to leave Huntsville. Do you remember that? When homegirl got pregnant?
I don't remember that.
Right. I can't see that. Martell too in love with his children. I tell you that much. That man love his children. He wants to make sure that he's there for his children. So I don't know, Miss Mary. I don't know about that one.
She over there saying that he don't come get him on the weekends. He's supposed to have them no more. So well, I don't know. Well, I know that the men will walk away if they feel like they can't control the situation. So we're gonna pray for all of them involved.
Oh, she said he don't come get the kids on the weekend and he's supposed to have them?
To say he's really not been doing ever since she's gotten
full custody.
Full custody. Which I don't think she has full. She has where she makes all the decisions. I forgot what they call that. But she said primary custody. She said that he has not been as active as he used to be with the kids. She did say that.
Well, that's sad.
That is sad. She said on his weekends to come get him, he normally has an excuse or two that he's out working or he has, something else he has to do. Yeah.
Well, she's also a liar, so I can only take what she say with a grain of salt too. I hope that's not true. I don't know. I'm just saying that lady lie a lot. So I don't know. I don't know. I can't see Martell being in his kids. I can see him because he does have his builder's license. So maybe it is work. I don't know. And he's getting, Martell learned to move smarter. He learned not to announce what he gonna be doing before he do it because the flying monkeys will definitely try to sabotage it. Yeah. So, but like I said, I don't know. That lady a liar. I'm not saying that she could be telling the truth, but I just don't know because she's a liar. Yeah. That we do know. That lady lie a lot. And she's lied a lot over the years. So yeah, it could be true. Who knows? Mm-hmm. It's weird. He wanted to leave a hospital. Him and wait a minute. He wanted to what? Play. Wait a minute.
He wanted to leave at a hospital. Him and Mel and the kids.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Can you rewrite that, Miss Mary?
Yeah, Mel is human. Definitely, she is a human, and we're not gonna take that from her. She's a human being just like the rest of us.
I mean, well, yeah, Miss Mary. What did we not say she wasn't human? Okay, Miss Mary. I don't know why you told. I mean, ain't nobody said that girl ain't human. We know men lie, women lie, numbers don't. I don't know. That's the saying. Listen, would you say he was so in love he called her a peasant? Listen, Martell was playing a role, baby. Martell was playing a role.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
I mean, but there you go. Well, she couldn't have been much of a peasant. You let her to take your marriage out. So how much, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's like, oh, you can call her a peasant all you want, but he was still slinging that DD over that way.
But
So
here's
how
the
much of
thing.
a peasant was she?
But ButterFlii, think about it like this. Men, this just goes back even to Marceau, Maurice, and all of the men out of Huntsville. Even look at Kenny. Remember Kenny called this season. He called Latricia masculine, and then some girl he's been hollering at, he said, oh, she's very soft. And whenever they get sick of somebody or whichever one they want to flaunt that day is who gets the
Right.
who gets the
Right.
Timberlake.
Because then he turned around and said he loved Trish, and you know, they gonna try to work it out.
The lie.
Although he done called her a liar too. He called Trish a liar and everything else. So yeah. Like
It's the same situation. It just depends on what's
Yeah.
happening in the moment. Men are they don't operate in the long term. They operate in the right now. What's going on right now?
Right. In the moment. In the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because baby, I don't know what type of peasant that, like I said, I don't know what type of peasant that is that you wasn't willing to start messing with it to save your marriage. So she couldn't
Right.
have been that much of a peasant. So that's why I don't even like, yeah, it was ignorant to say it on national TV, but I'm gonna go off your actions.
They're broken up in symmetry. They're not together. Not right. Not right now. Not as of like last week or a week before last. She was actually online and said something about it, about them Martell not being with her, and supposedly she went back to wherever she's from, Ohio or whatever.
Oh, she's in Ohio.
That's what I believe. She went back home with her mom.
Yeah, Ariana girl, yeah. At this point, you need to stop. Yeah, you need to move on too, girl. Is she still in nursing school?
I think she's finished. I believe she's finished. I think that's what I read.
Yeah, I
She's
don't blame her.
wasted a lot of her good years.
She did, because he
Yeah,
met her. She was young. She met her in her 20s. He met her in her 20s.
yeah. 23 was
Mm-hmm.
really young. She's wasted a lot of her good years. Man, time you'll never get back, you don't waste it on a no good nigga.
Well, I'm glad she got her LPN and she can go on. You know, like I said, she did go back to Ohio. Good for her.
Yeah.
Good luck to her. Hopefully, she finally move on. You know, because baby, it's been a tumultuous what? How long was they just doing this back and forth? Like dang, decade and a half.
Long time.
Yeah, it was a long time. And Ariana is not a bad looking girl at all.
Beautiful.
So she
That
is.
she's a pretty girl.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and she was young. So I think that's, I think she's older now. So hopefully she's a little wiser, if not a lot wiser, you know.
Yeah.
But well, I don't know, guys, because do you think Martell would let her take little Maverick out of the back door? I don't know.
She said that he
Mm.
would never have to worry about going to court with him. He could have Miles Morales whenever he felt like it. Those were her words. She said she would never have to worry about her fighting him over that son. He could have his son whenever he wanted him. And
I
you know
kind of
what?
believe her because I believe she operate with her oldest daughter's father the same way.
And
Yeah.
she made it very clear. I mean, whereas, and I think part of that was her trying to get back at Basement Bully, that she was saying that, Basement Bully dragging him in out of court. You got to worry about going there. You want these kids, take these kids. Take this boy with you. You don't worry about me. I'm not going to take you to court. Take your son to your house.
And I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Aaron gives me listen. I could do without the headache. Take your baby,
right.
give me a break. Should I could go ahead because Paris what? Is she about to graduate high school?
I don't know if she's
If
about
not already in high school.
she's probably about to go to high school. She's probably about 14, 15.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. These kids don't stay babies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Susie, I hope she does.
Was she at A? I don't know. I don't think
Yes,
everyone was it. No.
uh-huh.
No. She met him Bartell met her at his cousin's cookout.
Well,
So she was against.
she was in college when he met her.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, she was in college when he met her.
Oh, okay, she dropped out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. I know they met at a cookout, his cousin's cookout, his family members cookout. I'd be surprised if it was the uncle that passed away. That's why Basement Bully didn't want to go to the funeral. That's not funny. But y'all remember that, right? First season. Yeah, right? Symmetry, because I definitely didn't know that. Yeah. It's time for everybody to move on, god darn it. Shoot. At this point. Just raise the babies, co-parent, and keep it moving. And that's all they could do. But all right, Buttercups, that has been our review. I hope y'all enjoyed it. We've been on here for 3 hours. 3 hours, Buttercups. Can you believe that? Okay, I guess I made up for this weekend. Last week. I made up for last week, Buttercups. Y'all forgive me. But yes, Buttercup, thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you, Susie. Right, Miss Mary. It's time to move on. Okay, it's time for everybody to move on. And that's just that with them. But I can't wait to see this reunion. Also, I believe they started filming next season already. So I can't wait to see. It sounded like they might. Hey, Kiwa. Hey, beautiful. Who could never? Oh, I could never. Leave me alone, living for me, my Buttercup. I live with me gonna look, she gonna ragtag and drag me, okay? Thank you, Miss Mary. I appreciate that. Thank you for everybody that joined us. Please make sure you hit the free 99 like button, whether you're watching over here at ButterFlii's Corner. Yep, yeah. Okay, thank you, number one Buttercup. Filming has definitely started back up. Make sure you hit the like button over here at ButterFlii's Corner. And if you're watching over there at the Queendom at Lady Rose, please make sure you hit the like button over there, okay? And hype up the lives, Buttercups. Hype up the lives. It helps us big time in the algorithm. I think they're taking the hypes more seriously than the lives as far as hyping up the live into the algorithm. I think that's the new structure with the whole hype button. So if y'all haven't used up all your hypes yet, if you can hype up the Lady Rose and Mines, it would greatly be appreciated. And I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. And don't forget to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, okay? Don't forget your girl ButterFlii is still on the road to her 3,000. I'm trying to get there by the end of the year. We are doing real good. Thank you, Lady Ro. I think she had a phone call. Thank you so much, Lady Ro. Appreciate you. I do apologize about missing yesterday's because y'all know I love to do the reviews with me and Lady Rose. So that is going to be a continuing thing that hopefully me and Lady Rose will be able to continue to do. I like, me and her doing it together. So shout out to Lady Rose and thank you so much. But yeah, Buttercups, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening and I'll see y'all tomorrow morning. All right. Remember to what? Tell a friend to get down. The ButterFlii's going to hit that subscribe button. Okay. It will greatly be appreciated. Shout out to all my new subscribers. Welcome to the tribe. So shout out to all the new Buttercups. We did gain a good, nice little handful of new subscribers. Yes. Okay. Oh, the grass made you trip. Yeah, the grass got me tripping. Okay, y'all see that I was out Friday night having a ball. Okay, and that little hole in the wall we was at. Shout out to the hole in the wall. I would tell y'all the name, but y'all know they be trying to dox your girl, so we ain't even gonna go all up in there. But yeah, thank y'all for. I hope y'all enjoyed the little hole in the wall, having a little fun with your girl ButterFlii the other night. But yes, Buttercups, y'all enjoy y'all evening. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning. And remember to what? Smile. It's the most simplest, kindest gesture that you can offer to anybody. And it's a universal language. No matter what country you come from or what language you speak, everybody understands a smile. You never know how your smile might brighten up the next person's day. All right, Buttercups? So remember to what? Smile! And the world smiles with you. Okay, Buttercups? Now, y'all make sure y'all stay on y'all what? Square. And keep your head on the swivel. Okay? Keep your head on the swivel, Buttercups, because we definitely got a lot going on. Buttercups, we gotta get to a lot of these subjects that I got all these clips for because it's taking up space on my phone. I can't even take pictures right now, Buttercups, because I ain't got no more space on my phone. I've been wanting to take a picture of so many different things, and my camera's like, girl, you need to let some space. So I gotta transfer a lot of this stuff off my phone, but I got get rid of these clips too. So we gotta go ahead and talk about all these clips I've been collecting. Okay, I collect all these clips and we just ain't been getting to it. But this week we're gonna try to get a lot of these clips out the way. Y'all know we got real life going on. There's a lot going on. The world as we know it is, I don't know what it's doing. I don't want to say going to hell on the handbasket, but that's what it's looking like. Okay, there's a lot of other hot gossip going on out there. So we're gonna get into the pop culture and everything that's going on there. I know y'all heard about the Diddy tape being leaked and all of that. We'll talk about that tomorrow morning. But anyway, Buttercups, thank you guys so much for joining me, and y'all have a beautiful rest of y'all evening. All right. Love, light, and butterflies. Let's get ready to get up out of here, Buttercups. Hey, you gotta play the theme song.
Yeah. It's ButterFlii sitting at the table, talking real life, keeping it stable. Lessons, blessings, truth when she speak, dropping that fire, new thoughts every week. ButterFlii, fly floating on high, music in the lounge, keep your soul alive. Reality review, she gon' testify, standing for the people, she don't let it slide. ButterFlii, lessons and blessings, no see but true. She's speaking for you. Yeah. ButterFlii. Lessons and blessings, no see but true. She's speaking for you.
Thank you, Buttercup. Mwah. Love, light, and butterflies. Don't forget to hype up the live and hit the like button. Night, night.